We should be fine. Great. Frankly, that's all I really need. Now then. Just some quick correction so I can easily access everything. Okay. We're back. Hooray. Back with Doki Doki Blue Skies. I've been looking forward to getting back into it, especially now that we've gotten the most risque scene behind us. Then again, it might repeat. Or there might be even more scenes like that. I don't know. But I feel like, considering how much progress we've made on Yuri, I feel like we might be we might slowly be approaching the end. Then again, I suppose the relationship has just hit its climax. Pun fully intended. But that still doesn't mean we've solved her problems. And frankly, solving those kinds of problems is gonna take a while, so I doubt that this will be fully explored in the game. Because there's no way that that's just gonna happen in such a short time frame. And I doubt this game will make like a time jump over a couple of years. So I feel like we might be approaching the end of her character arc. So hooray! Now then, let's just get back into it so I can actually make some progress before I'm not getting anything done and I am stuck talking with people again. Because last time I got stuck talking to others a lot, but I also got quite a bit of viewers, much more than usual. And by last time I mean not the previous stream, but the previous DDLC stream. I wonder how that happened. It's definitely not because of Yuri's almost nude scene. No, that can't be the reason, right? Never. It's not like people wanted to see that specific scene. It's not like the amount of viewers dropped immediately afterwards. No. No. I'm just imagining stuff, right? Alright. Why is it that the scariest nightmares are always the ones where you fail out of school? Some might say it's a bad omen, especially since finals season is fast approaching. It takes so much effort to study though. You know what? I'm just gonna not think about it. Although I feel like I'm forgetting something. Something exceedingly important. You wanted to spend more time with Sayori? This isn't going to something like me forgetting to walk to school with Sayori again, is it? Oh well, might as well get ready for the day while I mull over my forgetfulness. As I sit on the toilet and scroll through a Reddit feed, my Reddit feed, I suddenly hear the telltale bells of a text message. Okay, so the protagonist is a Redditor. Hooray. It's Monica. Oh. Good to know. Hey. Wait, hang on. You just said it was a text message. Why is it popping up in a... You know what? I'm gonna treat it as a text message, because I'm gonna use any excuse I can get to not do Monica's voice. So if the game says it's a text message, then I'm gonna interpret it as such and not do Monica's voice. Okay? Hope that's understandable. Okay. Hey guys, don't forget, we have a study group in an hour, so I hope you're all awake. Crap, I totally forgot about it. What a great host I am, offering up my house for the study session and then forgetting all about it. So we're once again going to my house. Why is it always my house? Well, I suppose there has to be some kind of reason, but I don't know. I offer up a silent thanks to Monica and her dependability. Guess I'd better get off the toilet and clean up the house before Natsuki complains my ears off. That looks clean enough, right? Why do I always leave the cleaning until the last minute? Well, why not? Otherwise you're just gonna get it messy again until it's time to meet, and then you're gonna have to clean up again anyway. I feel like I've been in this situation multiple times before. You would have thought that I'd learned my lesson by now. And I haven't eaten breakfast yet too. As if on cue, my stomach gives off a forlorn gurgle. Sorry, but societal expectations and politeness take precedent over survival. Of course they do. Maybe I'll have enough time for a quick bite of toast. Nope, there's a knock on the door. Judging by the politeness of the knock, it's either Yuri or Monica. Coming. I would have guessed it, it's Yuri. Of course Yuri's here first, why wouldn't she be? Why wouldn't she be, right? Okay, get back into it. Let's see how long my vocal cords will last today, by the way. Code. I can't believe I'm losing Yuri's voice now. No, I know I can do her voice. Fine. Code. Hello. First one here, huh? I can't say I didn't expect that, though. You're a whole 10 minutes early. Well, I wasn't doing much of anything, so I decided that I might as well come over. Sorry, were you not ready yet? No, you're good. Feel free to come in. I'm actually surprised that Monica isn't early, too. As I usher Yuri into my house, a familiar-sounding voice shouts out from the direction of the street. She is early! Hooray! And this time I have no excuse. Wait up. Hold the door. Looks like I spoke too soon. Monica jogs over to us and waves hello, brushing the bangs out of her eyes. I should have known that you were going to beat me here, Yuri. I do like to be punctual. A little more than punctual, don't you think? All in good faith. Obviously, I'm quite early too, so I'm not one to talk. I mean, punctuality is a good trait to have, isn't it? Yep. I feel like it shows that you value others' time when you're punctual. Yeah, I admittedly need to work on keeping track of time more myself. Frankly speaking, I also usually fall into the category where I'm more often than not too early rather than too late. Like, yeah, usually when now this might come as a shock to some of you, but I actually do have a couple of friends. Whenever we plan to meet up, I usually arrive like I usually also arrive like 10 minutes early. Which, yeah, I'm always being generous with time. Like always, whenever I am meeting them at their house or anywhere, honestly, I always think of the worst case scenario when it comes to travel time and just arrive way early, which I think is a better choice than showing up late. Because honestly, if they aren't quite ready yet, then they can just tell you and you can just wait outside in the car for a bit or something. Which is really not that bad, in my opinion. Anyway, are we going to stand here talking until the others show up, or...? Oh, right, let's head inside. So, what's our schedule for today? Schedule? Aren't we just gonna study? Well, yes, but shouldn't we discuss how we're going to study and organize ourselves a bit? I mean, aren't we just going to read and do problem sets? But we're not all going to be studying the same subject at the same time, right? Oh well. Hold on, that must be one of the others. Huh. Both Natsuki and Sayori are at my door. Hey guys, did you coordinate this or something? Pfft, nah, we just happened to see each other on the way over here. Hey Code, we're not late, are we? No, you guys are right on time. Yuri and Monica are just early as usual. Now that everyone's here though, we can get started. With that, Natsuki and Sayori follow me to the living room. After swapping hellos, we all settle down on the living room sofas. So, what are we doing first? Code, Monica and I actually had been discussing that right before you two joined us. You were talking about some kind of an agenda? Do you really need something like that? All we're gonna do is study? That's what I asked. You know, It's really interesting that the protagonist and Natsuki, also me and Natsuki, seem to be more on the same wavelength. But Yuri is just cute, smart, shy. Which is why I chose her first. But Natsuki shares more interest with both me and the protagonist. Which is why she's gonna be the next one we're gonna be doing, of course. And the childhood friend is gonna have to wait for last.
It'd still be helpful to plan out what we're going to study, though, in my opinion. We do have around 5 subjects to study, so we should plan accordingly. Don't you guys plan out studying?
No. Me neither. I just study for exams in the order that they come in, like a week beforehand.
Me too, well, I kinda crammed the day before, though.
Monika looks over desperately at Yuri. I usually don't really study at all, like even the day before. If anything, I quickly flip through the materials like right before the exam papers are passed out, and that's it. That's all the preparations I ever did in school, and I passed without a problem. Well, there are still some problem subjects that I sometimes took time out of the day to at least catch up on. And those are actually the subjects I sucked the most in. So learn from me, the subjects you suck most. My personal experience, the few subjects I actually studied for every now and then are the ones I absolutely sucked at. All the time. Without fail. And the ones I pretty much never did any studying for are, of course, the ones I did pretty great in. Well, maybe that's just because of, you know, how interested you are in a topic. That really changes how much of the information you actually absorb. Things like that, probably. So yeah, I'm not setting a good example here either. So just Monika and potentially Yuri who actually have good studying organization.
I study in a more organized manner myself. It helps me stay on track when I'm going over subjects that I don't like as much. Thank you. As the top 2 students in this group, I'd say both mine and Yuri's studying habits take precedent over yours.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
It means that we're going to whip you guys into shape, right, Yuri? I suppose so.
Monika, your voice is hurting me. I should have really put some thought into it and given you a different voice, but I'm not going back now after I've already come this far.
Could I ask what that entails first? I just mean that we're going to help everyone stay focused. And that means no romantic cuddles between you and Code, too. I wasn't thinking of...
Jeez, Monika, who do you think we are?
Only joking. Anyway... Should we focus on the subjects that we're weakest in first? We're only going to be here for a few hours, so we likely won't be able to study every single subject we have. And since we're all together, we should probably study material that we can that we can ask each other for help on. After all, we could all probably study our strongest subjects quite easily on our own. That's a great idea, Yuri.
Yep.
Although, what happens if I'm weak in all my subjects? So Yuri, don't be too hard on yourself. After all, you're definitely good with literature at least.
Yeah, you probably do fine in your classes. If anything, it's Code who has to worry. Thank you. Hey, I'll have you know that I aced some of my tests before. I don't think any of us will need help studying literature, though.
So
Oh, sorry.
So I guess it's None of us are gonna be studying Japanese unless someone here needs help with grammar.
Nah, my worst subjects are science and history. So we're gonna be helping her with history then, because that seems to be one of the protagonist's stronger subjects. Which is another point where I completely don't identify with the protagonist. I was never good in history. Remembering dates and stuff, it's just not up my alley. Huh, really? I'll probably be able to help you with history, but I am gonna work on math first myself.
I am strong in history and science as well, so feel free to ask me any questions too. Although math, well, are more enjoyable subjects to say the least. Yeah, in luck because math is one of my strongest areas. Could you add one more to the group? I'm kinda bad at math and science. No problem. Aren't you good at English, Sayori? I'm okay at it.
Math. Interesting subject. I was pretty good at it. Until they started introducing more complex matters, and then I kind of got worse and worse, because again, no studying. It was still enough to, pass, but oh well. You're a simp, you play every game that has anime girls in it, don't you? Feel free to call me a simp, that's... If that's what you want to call me a simp. I mean, it's... I am simping for Yuri right now, so... yeah. Also, welcome back, by the way. Sorry, no Genshin Impact today. I kind of alternate between Genshin Impact and DDLC, so... Next time is gonna be more Genshin Impact. Which is probably gonna be tomorrow as well, so... We'll see how that goes. But, well, since you're here, you can prepare for cringe, because I'm trying my best to give every character a different voice, and as you can tell, female voices are not the strong suit of, well, a guy like me. Especially Monica's.
Nice. Then you can help me with that too. The grammar always gets me. I believe that everyone's sorted out then.
Yeah, we all know we're going to study now. What we're going to study now, I think. I can't believe we're actually doing this. First, not using Q. Second, being a psychopath. And now I know you play every anime girl game. Not calling you a sim. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it's a joke. Don't worry about that. I'm not that easily offended. No need to worry about that. I kind of get a joke when I see it. But yeah, I know. I mean, I have played different games in the past, okay? I did kind of play Minecraft for a while. But I played in hardcore, and I kind of dropped the series after I died. Which I hope is understandable, because I would have had to start from scratch again. This is with most streamers, don't feel bad. Do you sit on that screen the whole game? It's pretty boring if so. No, it changes a lot. Depending on which characters are there, they have different clothes, different sprite, the background changes, that kind of stuff, like typical visual novel stuff. But yeah, right now we're in the protagonist's living room. Studying. With 4 girls, what could go wrong? Guess it's good that I'm being forced to study earlier, though.
That's the spirit.
Oh, I nearly forgot. Is anyone thirsty or hungry? I could guess all snacks and drinks and stuff to help us power through this.
If it's not too much of a bother, that'd be lovely.
Literature club, can I join? Wouldn't we all love to join a club made him up almost entirely out of girls? I'm gonna have to say, I am at least even though I'm just playing the game and there's really no need to, I am kind of partaking in club activities, which is basically writing a poem every day. Well, in the club, that is. For me, I'm just writing a poem every time, a poem after every stream, and just put it into the description once I upload it to YouTube. So yeah, I am doing extra cringe by actually writing poems. And they all suck. Which is to be expected because I don't have any writing experience.
Actually, would you like... I can help. You still have the same kinds of snacks. I know the perfect ones for each person.
That'd be great, thanks. Yuri, were you going to say something?
No, it's alright. We'll be waiting for you two then.
Okay, let's hurry up then, Sayori. No, that's not it. The game. The game is called Doki Doki Literature Club. Or, well, I'm playing a modded version called Doki Doki Blue Skies, but the game itself is, yeah. So yeah, sorry about that. Kind of misinterpreted your previous, anyway, yeah. So yeah, no, I'm not hosting a literature club. As I said, I don't have any writing experience anyway, other than the couple of horrible poems I've written. So it's not like I would do any good hosting a literature club. So if you so sorry about that. Wow, background change. Let's see, I'll grab the bottles of water while you grab the snacks, alright?
Sure, they're all still in the same cupboards.
Yep, I just leave them wherever Mom stuffs them when she comes back from her trips.
I haven't been in your house for so long, Code. It makes me feel really nostalgic.
I was gonna say something, but I guess even within the game it has been a while. But it's not as long as she's making out to be, because there has been a meeting here. Which one would you... Alright. What? The other one's your sister? What do you mean? Strangle... Marry... Fuck... Is this some kind of twist on the classic fuck, marry, kill? Alright, so... I guess which one I would let strangle me, so... I guess that's the other choice you had. So, okay. Of those 4 girls... Yeah, not 100%, some kind of twist. So I saw that I am allowed to get strangled by one of them. Well then, I'd have to think about their characters, so... The thing is, let's think about Monica for a second, okay? Monica is pretty was described as smart, beautiful, athletic, so she's already pretty nice. However, she's always busy, so she's not often around. So I'm not sure if marrying her might be potentially interesting, I guess. You know what? No. Fuck the popular girl, Monica. Get strangled by... I already see Sayori as more of a sister, so I'm gonna put her in that category. That leaves Yuri and Natsuki, so the pink-haired one and the purple-haired one. Now, which one to marry and which one to get strangled by? Let's think about this. Get strangled by the yandere or by the tsundere? I'm gonna say marry Yuri and get strangled by Natsuki. Get strangled by the tsundere, marry the yandere. Well, I guess, as I've said, Yuri's not full yandere, but she's definitely clingy. And she, in the original game, she did kind of go full yandere towards the end, so... She definitely has a yandere aspect to her. Which isn't to say she's that possessive that she would kill anyone, but still. marry the bookworm. I think I've decided on my options. So Sayori's more of a sister. Yuri would be married. The popular girl Monica would be the one I'd fuck, and then there's Natsuki, who I'm gonna get strangled by. Because she would at least punch me anyway. So why not get strangled while we're at it? Alright. Hope that answers your question. Yeah, I guess so. It kind of feels like we're kids again, just for a moment. I always had a hard time picking from the snacks you had. You'd better not take an hour like that one time when... You meanie, that was just because your mom bought a bunch of different flavors of my favorite gummies. Man, you could have tried them all, you know. But I didn't want to be rude and eat everything. Sayori sighs, shuffling some packages around on the shelves. Looks like there's only one pack of gummies now. Oh, that's probably because my mom noticed that you weren't coming over so often anymore. I always liked the chips and crackers more, so... A slow silence creeps over us. I don't know what to say. How am I supposed to address the huge elephant in the room of drifting away from Sayori again? Hey, Code? What's up? Do you want to hang out with me tomorrow? Don't need to address it. She's inviting you to hang out. We're fine. Hang out with the childhood friend again. Only if you're free, that is. Sure thing. Is there any reason why? No, it's just for old time's sake. I mentally facepalm. What? Does Sayori need to have specific reasons to hang out with her oldest friend now? Sayori, I'm sorry that I've been such a terrible friend to you. Don't worry, it's only natural that you'd spend more time with your girlfriend. I wouldn't want to get in your way. You'll always be my dearest friend, okay? Oh, that line hurts because I remember it from the original game. Ah, that's the line. That line was uttered one day before she killed herself. It's the exact same line. You'll always be my dearest friend. And the following day, she was found hanging in her room. Don't do this to me again. I can't take it, okay? But she won't kill herself because she asked me to hang out with her. So there's no way she would kill herself now, right? Right. Please don't ever forget that. After all, you've been there since we were dumb little kids. Thanks for the sentiments, Code. But that's not exactly true now, is it? She suddenly swoops up the bag of gummies, a box of red bean pancakes, and a package of rice crackers. Come on, the others must be wondering why we're taking so long. I'm left standing alone in the kitchen, crumbling up a water bottle in my hands. Why am I such an idiot? Of course she'd be able to see through my empty words. Maybe it's a good thing that I'm gonna be studying today. It'll help keep me from thinking about the mistakes I've made. And we're back. We're all lazing around at this point, having each settled into our own comfortable studying positions. Monica's laying down on the floor, silently doing readings, while popping an occasional cracker into her mouth. Meanwhile, Yuri's sitting primely on the sofa next to me, meticulously finishing problem after problem of math. Natsuki and Sayori are both sitting on the floor and working on the coffee table, sharing the bag of gummies. I lean back and wince as a huge crack sounds from my neck. Ah! The pink-haired girl throws her hands up in the air. I can't deal with this anymore! What can't you deal with anymore? The freaking Kelvin cycle of Krebs cycle of photosynthesis and whatever? Who cares about this stuff? Your science teacher probably does. Shut up! I'm not going to be some kind of plant biologist when I'm older, so why do I need to know all the chemicals and how ATP is made and stuff? If it'll help, I know some effective mnemonic devices that'll make memorizing those processes easier. Teach me them. I'll do anything to make this go by faster. Natsuki hops up and jams herself between Yuri and me on the couch. Here's my notebook. How do I memorize it? With a light laugh, Yuri proceeds to summarize the concepts for Natsuki. Just listening without paying attention, it sounds like a million scientific terms are spewing out of Yuri's mouth. But listening more carefully, Yuri's actually explaining everything in a concise and elegant manner, seemingly addressing potential questions before they're even asked. Because Yuri is smart.
So, do you understand now? You've written down the mnemonic devices, right?
Yeah, but I think I get it. Let me try to explain it back to you to make sure. Natsuki rudely rattles off the material.
I say you're ready to move on now.
Seriously? Thanks a bunch, you're a total lifesaver? Should be a teacher or something someday.
A teacher? I don't think I'm suited to dealing with so many people.
Well, if it wasn't for how introverted she is, teacher would be probably the perfect job for her, if I'm being honest. But as an introvert myself, I know that it's gonna be difficult to, like, have a group of people in front of you and stuff like that. Well, maybe not a teacher, but how about a professor? Like, in a university, that we can just lecture at students about stuff. We just have to talk to students one at a time during office hours.
I suppose that would be more manageable, but I don't know.
Well, I guess you'll figure out what job you want when you're in university.
That reminds me, are you planning on heading there yourself?
To be honest, I don't know. I know that the smart thing to do would be to go to university and get some kind of degree so I can find a higher paying job. But I don't know what I'd want to do in university. Maybe I'll just become a salary woman?
You'd want to work an office job then?
Well, I wouldn't want to do it, but it's what pays. We're talking about our dream jobs? Well,
what is it?
Mangaka? Definitely mangaka. She has drawn manga in her free time before. This is kind of embarrassing now that I'm saying it. But I really want to be a manga artist. Called it! I mean, it was obvious, let's be honest. Who could have guessed? But yeah, that sounds definitely like an interesting job. Because you're just able to let your creative freedom just go at it. I couldn't possibly do that because, for one, lack of writing experience, which I could possibly obtain if I wanted to. And number two, I'm not an artist, I can't draw for shit. So yeah, not something I could see myself doing, as sad as it is. Even though it does sound interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've actually been practicing some too. Just a hobby for now, but it'd be really nice if I could do it as a job.
What kind of manga would you create then? Romance stories?
Maybe. I do like drawing cute girls more than things like fight scenes. I don't know, it's really hard to break into the manga scene though, and I'll probably make a better living as a secretary or something.
But I think that you could do it.
Eh?
Well, you just seem really passionate about manga. If you're able to pour all those feelings into your work, I'm sure that you'd be able to draw and write something that could resonate with your audience. I'm not particularly a fan of romance stories myself, but if you ever published your manga, I'd be sure to support it.
Thanks! A bright smile lights up Natsuki's face. Although I read things besides shoujo manga too, you know?
Like what?
I actually know a few really good thriller manga that I could recommend for you. And before you say anything, the art is super good, like less cutesy and more realistic. Some of them have crazy amounts of gore even.
I see. You know what? I'd like to read them with you.
Really? I didn't actually expect you to say yes.
Oh.
But it's super cool that you're open to it. I'll bring a copy of one of them to the club next time.
I'm looking forward to it.
Natsuki suddenly looks over at my direction. Jeez, you can be a little less obvious in eavesdropping code? Shoot, I hadn't even realized that I was eavesdropping. Well, you are right next to me. How nosy. Man, I feel like I've made enough progress for today at this point. I totally don't feel like studying anymore. What time is it anyway?
Around 6 p.m.
Oh crap, seriously? How we stay still for so long?
I'm sure the snacks helped.
Monica stands up and stretches, arching her back so that her ponytail dips low and nearly brushes the floor.
Anyway, I was about to call it a day too. I'm sure we wouldn't want to impose on Code by staying for dinner, especially since he hasn't prepped for many dinner guests.
Yeah, I think I'm beat too.
At least we had snacks to hold off our hunger. I am looking forward to dinner though. I'm sure we all feel the same.
You can all leave the snacks and stuff where they are. I'll take care of it all later.
Are you sure? We wouldn't want to be a bother.
Yeah, it's only gonna take me like 5 minutes to deal with it, so don't worry about it.
Okay, everyone. I guess that's that then. Nice work today. Everyone was super productive. Looks like Yuri and I may have some competition when it comes to our class rankings.
Man, it feels like this was just one long club meeting now.
I suppose it was in a way.
We all get up and stretch too, following Monica's example. A few moments later, the club members have all said their goodbyes and shuffled out the door. Well, except for Yuri, who's lingering behind to give me a more personal goodbye. As expected. How do you not get bored? Of what? Of reading? Well, because I'm interested in the characters, I'm interested in the story. That's how I'm not getting bored. Though I suppose if you're new to this game, then I suppose that would kind of it would be kind of hard to grab your attention with it, right? So yeah, I'm interested in the characters. That's why I decided to play this mod, and yeah, that's just as long as I'm interested, I don't really get bored that much. It's just similar to reading a book, except I'm reading it out loud, and it has images, and I'm streaming it for some reason. Honestly, I'm really just streaming myself reading a visual novel is such an interesting concept, because on one hand, yeah, it kind of is a game, but on the other hand, most of the stuff you're doing is reading. It's kind of curious that the visual novels are actually acceptable to so widely accepted in the online as proper games, even though it's mainly just dialogue and no real action or anything. I mean, there are some choices in there, but usually nothing too drastic. Huh. You know, kind of interesting to think about every once in a while. But I digress. I suppose I should get on now that I've answered your question.
I'm guessing that you're not used to studying this hard.
Well, I'll have to admit that I usually get distracted a lot more. And thanks for the follow, Just Monica. Thanks for the follow, thanks for coming by. Should have expected someone like you to show up eventually. Don't let Yuri take you? Well, it's a little bit too late. I should have expected this. I didn't see it coming though. Anyway, thanks for the follow, thanks for coming by. Don't worry, you're still... I mean, I won't be yours because you don't have a character out, even in this mod, you still don't. So that's kind of sad. And I've kind of progressed a little bit too far with Yuri to go back now. I have to admit that I usually get distracted a lot more. But this time I had the rest of you pushing me to do well. Do you think we'll have another study session sometime?
Most likely, I think we were all able to help each other somewhat. Monica's assistance with integration and infinite series was definitely invaluable.
Not to mention the help you provided in the sciences.
Oh, it was nothing.
Are you kidding me? You basically saved Natsuki's grade back there.
I think you're exaggerating. But thank you for the compliment. Also, now that we're done, now that we've done a bit of studying now, would you like to take a break tomorrow and hang out with me?
Bad timing. I just promised to meet up with Sayori.
I was thinking of seeing a film adaptation of one of the novels we discussed together.
Tomorrow. Sorry, but I already promised Sayori that I'd hang out with her.
Sayori? Oh, I see. That does sound like more fun, doesn't it?
It's happening. I can't tell if she's sad or if she's trying to guilt trip me. Is she genuinely disappointed or is she just trying to guilt trip me? I can't tell. I don't know. Hey, I grab your shoulders. I'd absolutely love to go out with you tomorrow, but what kind of person would I be if I broke promises left and right just to do that? I'm not making up an excuse, so I don't have to go with you. It's just that we were genuinely unlucky with the schedule conflict.
Sorry, I know that. I shouldn't have said that. It's not your fault at all. I just blurted out a passing intrusive thought. I never want you to have to choose between me and one of your other friends.
Do you still have these intrusive thoughts often? You really should look into therapy one more time.
Code, please.
Alright, I won't push you, just remember that that's where I stand on it.
I will.
Have you been self-harming lately? Sorry if I'm making you uncomfortable, but I just want to know if you're okay.
It's fine, Code. I'm not cutting myself as much as before. It's easier to ignore the urges when I can concentrate on other things. Like today, for instance, I couldn't do it because I was studying with you all. And being with you has given me a lot more to think about.
Does this mean that it'll be worse for her now, that I won't be with her tomorrow? I still can't tell if she's guilt-tripping me. I hope not, but she'd definitely be smart enough to go through with it. Oh god, now I'm feeling incredibly guilty. It's not like it's all my fault, but I still can't help feeling this way. Hey, I know that we won't be able to do anything tomorrow, but how about we plan ahead for something else? That way you can look forward to it when you're just thinking about random stuff.
Alright, what do you have in mind?
Do you want to have another date night on White Day?
I didn't think you were this much of a romantic.
Well, I do like to spoil my loved ones. I reach out and hold Yuri's hands in mine.
Are you thinking of a formal type of date, or...?
Do you actually want to have a night in and cook a nice dinner together? We haven't done that in a while.
I'd love to.
Yuri leans in and gently kisses me on the cheek.
Thank you for making so much of an effort for me. You can't imagine how much I appreciate it.
And thank you for actually wanting to date a huge nerd like me. The mood lightens considerably as we giggle together. Anyway, would you like me to walk you home?
No, thank you. I'm fine. Besides, you still have to clean up your living room.
Like I said, it'll only take a few minutes to clean up. None of you are particularly messy, so...
I see. Well, I do think that I can make it back home in one piece by myself.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Goodbye then, Code.
She steps closer again, this time to give me a goodbye kiss. Hooray. And before I know it, she's gone again, leaving only the faintest scent of jasmine and the lingering warmth of the kiss behind with me. Hooray! Study session done. Are we going back to the club now? I know I have 2 viewers, and I appreciate that, but the previous DDLC stream had a lot more, I have to say, but that's because we had a little bit of a risque scene. Because in the previous DDLC stream, things got a lot more intimate with Yuri. And I mean a lot. I am lucky that this game has an option to censor nudity, because otherwise I think I'd be in huge trouble with Twitch. So yeah, now you know, that's why previous DDLC stream my viewers... Well, I was glad I had viewers, let's just say it like that. I wonder if something like that's gonna happen again, and if it does, my viewers are probably gonna skyrocket again. I say skyrocket, but we were still in the single digits. But we were like pretty high up in the single digits at least, which is more than I could honestly ask for. Another day, another weekend. I yawn and stretch, glancing over at the clock. 10:21 a.m. A little on the late side nowadays, at least. And it's a day I'll be spending with Sayori. My god, it really feels like another lifetime ago that we used to hang out together. If I'm totally honest, I'm a little nervous. What if it's awkward? What if she resents me for ditching her? No, don't be silly, Code. Sayori is still my friend, and she isn't like that. You're acting like an idiot. With a sigh, I start my morning routine, wondering how the rest of the day will go. It's now a little past noon, and I am just mindlessly passing time. Sayori and I didn't actually make any concrete plans, so we're going to have to improvise a little. From what I remember, she's not really much of a morning person, so I decided to give her a bit of time. I think I've waited long enough though, so I decide to pull out my phone and shoot her a text. And there it is again, the incomplete phone, which I can see in its entirety, but you can only see like a small text box. I once again apologize, as always. Hey Sayori, feel free to come over if you want. Hey Code. Good timing, I just finished getting ready. I make my way over now. Awesome, see you soon. I put my phone away. In hindsight, I really should have thought of something for us to do. And just like that, Sayori's over. Just the two of us. I know I said it yesterday, but wow, I do feel so nostalgic coming here again. Yeah. She looks around. I didn't really get a chance to focus on it because we were all studying, but nothing has really changed, has it? You still got that embarrassing baby photo over there. She points towards a rather unflattering shot of me, still clad in a diaper and looking rather chubby. Glad to see you remembered it. I laugh under my breath. So, what are we doing today, Code? Well, this was your idea, right? I kind of thought you'd have something planned. Oh, well, I kind of thought the same, but for you. I furrow my brow. What kind of logic is that? There's not a whole lot to do here, to be honest. Whenever Yuri comes over, we typically just read and cuddle. Ah, I see. Her expression drops for the tiniest of moments. Don't mention this. She still has the big depresso. Leave. Don't tell her about your romance stories right now. That sounds really cute. But obviously we can't do that, so... There's an awkward pause. For God's sake, Code, say something, she's your childhood friend. Why don't we go to the park? The one we used to go to as kids? Oh, that sounds like a great idea. I think I'm silly for not bringing it up myself. Well, you always were a bit slow, weren't you? I wink playfully and nudge her. Hey! At least I wasn't a massive chicken around Halloween. She stands triumphantly. Okay. Well played. We share a laugh and head for the door. It feels wonderful, if not a little foreign, to tease each other again. Makes me feel like nothing really changed between us. With spring drawing ever closer, the frosty bite of winter feels less and less prevalent. It's still too cold for a t-shirt, but with a hoodie on, the temperature is pleasant. Sarah and I take a seat on the park bench and look up at the clouds. So tell me, Sayori, what's new in your life? I try to stay as nonchalant as possible, attempting to fight the guilt seeping into my voice. She giggles quietly. You know, not much has changed. Same old, same old. It's a little hard to discern her expression fully, as her eyes are firmly trained on the sky above, but I'm fairly certain I'm detecting some sadness. I don't want to jump right in with my questions though, so I opt for a more casual angle, hoping she'll talk more about herself if she feels comfortable. Honestly, I know that feeling too. Well, sort of. It's kind of hard to explain. On one hand, joining the literature club last semester, meeting everyone, goes without saying that that's had a big impact on my life. But at the same time, I feel like nothing's really changed. Maybe it's because despite new faces and stuff, I'm still in the same environment. Still waking up every morning for school, all that stuff. If that makes any sense. A smile works its way onto her face. You're sounding more like Yuri by the day.
I don't think you ever used to be this reflective and analytical.
You're like the third person to tell me that.
Heh, sorry. It must be kind of annoying, right?
Not really. It's more eye-opening, if anything. You know how you can adopt your partner's traits.
I've never been in a relationship before, so I can only imagine.
We're making her sad again, aren't we? She looks sadly up at the sky. I knew it. I know in this kind of situation, of us being in a relationship and not spending much time with her anymore, even though she's our childhood friend, and with her being depressed on top of that, I know we're kind of walking through a minefield, stepping through a minefield here by talking to her about our lives, but it has to be done if we want to reconnect. I know this is a tricky situation to deal with right now. Hey Sayori, I'm sure there's someone out there for you. You're really likable, you know? She doesn't look convinced, so I press on. I am not sure if I'm supposed to or allowed to give so many compliments to a female friend, but you're really sweet, and I know some guy out there is going to really value how kind and upbeat you are. It's so rare that you meet someone as selfless as you are. One day someone's going to cherish that. I know I've always enjoyed being able to call you my friend. My childhood was amazing, and a huge reason for that is because of you. She slowly turns to face me.
Thank you, Code. That really means a lot to me.
And I really am sorry, Sayori. She opens her mouth, but I rush onwards, wanting to get my words out before I reconsider. I know it might be more natural for me to spend more time with Yuri, but that doesn't mean I should have done so at your expense. I feel really bad, you know. Like I've just thrown away the history we have. That wasn't ever my intention, please remember that.
Code, you're so silly. I didn't even think that you threw me away. It's completely normal for you to spend more time with your girlfriend. Besides, you make Yuri happy, and by the looks of it, she makes you feel the same way too, right?
I nod.
That's what I value the most, other people's happiness.
Because you yourself don't really find that much happiness, I know. Honestly, Sayori is such a sad character when you think about it. Devoting herself to make everyone around her happy, because deep down, she can't find happiness for herself. Honestly, I wouldn't even know where to start helping such a person. The only thing I can say again is, you know, therapy, but I don't really know anything about this sort of stuff, how to approach someone like this. But I want you to be happy as well. She laughs and waves off my concern.
You honestly don't have to worry about me, because it's bittersweet when people worry about you. I'm perfectly happy the way I am. You're still in my life, you know. I see you every day in school, and we get to talk there. Plus, for things like Halloween, Christmas, study sessions, we all get to hang out, right? So please don't feel bad, okay? I'm just grateful we're talking again. Because I'll be honest, I missed you, Code.
I missed you too, Sayori. She embraces me in a hug. It feels a little strange being so heartfelt with a girl who isn't Yuri, but it's a nice feeling all the same. Despite the initial novelty of the hug, it very quickly feels very familiar, if not a little nostalgic. Memories come flooding through my mind. Are we gonna get backstory? Sayori and I biking together through a forest. Me buying her an ice cream, us pretending like the floor was lava, hopping from chair to chair in my living room, my mom helping us reconcile after a silly argument we had. We eventually break apart. There's a genuine warm smile on her face that I find myself returning without even realizing it.
That's what I want to see more of. And less of the self-blame game, okay?
She pouts slightly, causing me to laugh. Sayori isn't assertive, and when she tries to be, it comes across more endearing than commanding. Heard you loud and clear, soldier.
Good. Now I think it's time we did some exploring, don't you think?
Lead the way, Columbus. Something that never waned over the years is Sayori's fascination with exploring. Even if it isn't ground, even if it's ground we've already once traversed, she still acts like it's fabled terrain. I'm not complaining though, her imagination was always something I enjoyed. You know, seeing the wanderlust on your face. It reminds me of when you wanted to be an astronaut when you were younger. I still think being an astronaut would be really cool, you know. Think of the views. Seeing your home planet from the moon. You still want to be an astronaut? Well, as fun as it would be, probably not the best idea given me and physics don't really mix very well. So what do you want to do after school? I don't think I've ever heard you talk about this. I haven't really given it much thought, to be honest. But you'll be a third year soon. I know. I don't know. I guess I'll just pick a subject I enjoy and go from there. I don't really like thinking about the future. Why not? Huh? Oh, nothing. Oh, look where we are. Wow. Nice change of topic there, Sayori. How nice. She points ahead to a clearing. I recognize the place instantly. We've had many a picnic there in the past. Sayori immediately makes a beeline for one of the trees. Once she reaches it, she sits down so that the trunk rests against her back. I follow suit and take a seat next to her. This is one of my favorite spots in the entire park. So many memories here. You always liked the spot, didn't you? I remember how excited you were when we first stumbled upon this place. It was like a magical forest to you. Oh, you remember that? Of course I do. Oh, a flashback. How nice. We're getting a flashback. Oh, look at this place, Code. It's a magical forest. Do you think? Yeah. See that big tree over there? I bet a forest wizard lives in it. A wizard? With loads of cool spells? Yep. I bet he could turn you into a frog. Well, I don't want to be a frog. I want to be a dragon. Well, let's ask him. She runs off towards the tree and knocks on the wood when she gets there. Hi, Mr. Wizard Man. We heard all about your magic spells and stuff. Can you show us? Please? Aw. No wizard? No. Hey, that's okay. We can still have lots of fun exploring, right? You said it's a magical forest, so I bet we'll find other cool stuff. Like what? Like one of those magical horse thingies. You know, with the horn. Oh, you mean unicorns? Yeah, that's the one. Come on, I bet they're here somewhere. Hey Code, wait up! We have to be quick if we want to catch the unicorn, Sayori. I know. But look at these mushrooms. She points to the floor. Funnily enough, there's a bunch of colorful mushrooms growing next to a tree. Sayori crouches down next to them. Those are mushrooms, right? She pokes one and giggles. Yep. Do you think they're magic mushrooms too? What, like mushrooms that give us special powers? Maybe the wizard is growing them. I don't know. Mommy told me not to eat things from the floor. Why not? Because they're dirty and they might make you sick. And if you get sick, that means we couldn't play together. That really suck. She looks down at them with a sad expression. Can we at least take them with us? And we can ask your mommy to wash them so we can eat them. Well, I think that might be okay. She bends down and plucks them from the ground, carefully putting them in her pockets. What if these mushrooms let you pick your power? Oh, which one would you pick? Oh man, that's a tough question. Flying would be really fun. Yeah, it would. You could fly like a bird. Wherever you wanted to go. Must be so fun. Whee! But what's the word? When you like see-through? Invisibility. Wow, Sayori, how did you know that? It's such a big word. She beams. I can be smart sometimes. Anyway, what would you like? That would be really a fun power to have. You could prank a lot of people. What would you pick? It'd be really nice if my powers let me make everyone smile all the time.
no one would ever be sad again.
Huh. But isn't that kind of boring?
I guess. But I feel really good whenever I make people happy, so I think that I choose that. Everyone is happy that way, right?
I still think this thing would be way cooler. I still remember the look on Mom's face when you told her you almost ate those mushrooms. I had never seen her so alarmed.
Guess it really wasn't the smartest thing to do, was it?
No, not really. But that's what makes the memory so endearing, you know? That innocence that can only come from childhood. I put both my hands behind my head and breathe a content sigh.
Those days were a lot of fun, weren't they?
Yeah, they really were. A comfortable silence falls between us. Both of us are lost in the past, reminiscing about the good times. The silence is occasionally broken when one of us decides to share. Either way, I am enjoying my time with Sayori.
Thanks for spending time with me today, Code. I had a lot of fun.
Oh, it's nothing. We should definitely do this more often. Though, with exams coming up, it'll probably have to wait until after they're finished.
I really don't like exam season. But at least this will give me something to look forward to after they're done.
Uh-huh. Ah, well, at least with our group study sessions, exams shouldn't be too bad this year, right?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure we'll all be fine. Anyway, I'll catch you later, Code.
She gives me a quick hug, then heads back inside. Ah, damn. I totally forgot to ask her about the Valentine's note. Then again, did I really need to? It wouldn't really have achieved anything. With high spirits, I make my way home. I'm glad I spent the day with Sayori. Plus, as Monica said, it's good to spend a little bit of time away from your partner. Looks like I'm learning. But don't spend too much time away from Yuri, she's gonna get upset. And she's either gonna cut herself or come after you. It's the moment of truth. The first day of final season. Silence fills the air as we all anxiously watch Sakurai pass out the history exams. Here's to hoping that I don't blank out when I take it. But given the extra studying I did this time with the club, I'm thinking that I should do pretty well. Well, I'm not gonna jinx myself and expect to ace it. I'm startled out of my reverie when a sheaf of paper drops onto my desk. Sakurai gives me a small smile as he passes by. At least he's rooting for me. Looking down at the exam, the words seem to swim before my eyes. But within a few seconds they snap back into focus as I clear my mind. I know this. Picking up my pen, I join my classmates in furiously scribbling down my answers. So, what do you think of your exams? Students rush around Yuri and me, eagerly escaping school to rush home. Some are probably going to do last-minute cramming, while others are likely just seeking a respite from anything related to school. That would be me, the latter one. Just get away from school as fast as possible. Either way, everyone around us seems to be chatting about the exams.
I feel they were generally fair. There wasn't any unexpected material in them, at least.
So in other words, you aced them.
Well, I don't know about that. I think I did alright.
Ha, you totally aced them. She smiles gently, not denying the fact that she's a top student.
What did you think of the exams then?
I probably did well on the history one at least. And I hope I did well on the others.
If how you did during our study sessions is indicative of how well you actually know the material, I'm sure you did fine.
Yeah. A gaggle of girls passes by, chatting about the approaching summer break.
It's strange not needing to head to the club today.
Yeah, but it'd be a bit much if students were expected to keep up with all their extracurriculars during exam season.
True, I don't think even Monica would want to do that.
Monica, the perfect teacher's pet, not wanting to do school stuff. That's heresy.
Knowing her, she's likely studying as we speak.
Speaking of studying, did you actually want to come over today to study together?
Sure. It'd be nice to study with someone to break the monotony at least.
Not to mention, we'd get to spend more quality time together. I nudge Yuri in the side, making her blush. Actually, should we invite the others too and make it an official study session? Yuri stops in her tracks.
You want to invite the others?
We don't have to if you don't want to.
Sorry, it's just that I thought it would be more of a private thing.
No worries, we probably just won't stay on the tasks as much.
I don't know, we've stayed focused on things before.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I don't know why, but we're so awkward all of a sudden. You're not upset or anything, are you?
Why would I be?
You seem kind of off now, is all.
Sorry, I suppose I'm a bit tired from the exams. You could say that I have a bit of a shorter fuse right now, so to speak. Although, of course, that's no excuse for my rudeness.
It's alright, Yuri, that makes sense. How's about we brew up a nice mug of hot tea for you when we get to my place and relax a little before we cram?
That does sound good.
You bet it does. And so, the writers completely wasted that one character's powers and made him the king for basically no reason. Needless to say, the show's finale was probably one of the worst disappointments in television history. Now, I don't know anything about this, but I'm guessing it's talking about Game of Thrones, right? I heard that the finale was shit, and that there was a character who said he didn't want to become king but became king in the end. I don't know. I don't really know much about this show, really. I never watched it. Partially because I already know that the ending sucks anyway, and I would it's definitely a sad feeling to enjoy a show and then have them ruin the ending, so I don't think I'm gonna get into it. But yeah, I'm guessing that's what they're talking about here.
You're quite passionate about this, aren't you? Are you sure you're not just exaggerating?
It was going on for nearly a decade. Of course all the fans are gonna be passionate about something they've been invested in for so long. Seriously though, if you watch it, you'll get what I mean.
Well, you did just spoil the whole thing for me though.
You told me that I could. Plus you read the books. You're gonna know a lot of the major plot points anyway.
I know, I'm just teasing you. I do kind of want to start watching the show now though.
You should, if only for the cinematography and acting.
Look, we're here already.
Huh? That was a surprisingly short walk.
Time flies when you complain about things.
Yuri stands patiently as I fumble to find my house keys in my bag.
Maybe I can even start watching the first episode while we have tea.
If you do that, I guarantee you'll finish the first season today. I finally find my keys and unlock the front door. I'm home, and I still haven't stopped announcing my arrival home. Old habits die hard, I guess. Welcome back. Oh no, she's here. The mother is here. What? A brown-haired woman pops out from around the corner. Mom? Who else would I be? She envelops me in a crushing hug that I happily reciprocate. It's been so long since I've seen my little boy. Mom. Give me a break. You can't blame my mother for missing her son so much. I guess. Despite my protests, I can't help a grin from breaking through. And this must be Yuri. It's nice to finally be able to meet you in real life.
Yes, this is quite the surprise. I'm pleased to meet you as well.
And here, Yuri was hoping to get some alone time with me. But now that's not gonna work. Yuri smiles awkwardly, fidgeting with the hem of her skirt. I should probably try to ease some of her tension. This seriously is a surprise. Why didn't you tell me that you were coming home?
Well, I wanted to surprise you.
Yeah, no kidding.
I did foreshadow this in one of our calls, you know. Actually, I think Yuri was there when I said that. I believe I was. And I'd have to say that I'm definitely glad I was there to see your reunion. Code's grin is really splitting his face. Ah, that's a mama's boy. Hey, do you want me to act like a stereotypical angsty teenager? Oh god, no. I might have to extend my business trips if you ever start brooding. Mom starts laughing as I roll my eyes. It's definitely good to be back. Reaching out toward me again, Mom trousers my hair affectionately. Jeez, Mom. Come on. I've gotta catch up on all the affection I wasn't able to lavish on you in these past few months. And since when have you been such a tsundere? Don't call me a tsundere. We have one in our club already. You don't know what a real tsundere is if you're calling me one. One of the club members is basically the definition of the trope. Thank you. I'm guessing that club member wouldn't happen to be Yuri, would they? Pfft. Yuri's about as far from tsundere as you can get. Isn't that right, Yuri? Well, I can't say I'm much like a tsundere. But I'd say that the opposite of a tsundere would probably be someone like Sayori. My mind flashes back to all the times that Sayori, my mom, and I were together. And judging from Mom's face, she's thinking of the same thing. That reminds me. I really have to catch up with Sayori and her family sometime. Oh yeah, I think she probably misses you. Or at least she misses your gummies. Ha, of course. It seems like just yesterday that you were kids. Mom seems to stare off into the distance for a moment, sighing fondly at the memories. Speaking of kids, though, I'm really looking forward to purple-haired grandchildren in the future. Too soon. Too soon. Mom. Both my and Yuri's faces turn red in unison. You two are going to be so fun to tease. Yuri, you really do have such beautiful violet hair, though. Thank you. I've always liked the color purple. It's much more interesting color than brown at any rate. Whose fault is it that I have brown hair? I wonder. Code, you really are your mother's spitting image. Jeez, we don't look that much alike. Oh, stop being a tsundere and accept the compliment. Compliment? You'd be nearly as handsome if you took after your father. I snort and roll my eyes again, causing both Yuri and Mom to chuckle. Oh, I nearly forgot. Where are my manners? Come in and sit in the living room. I'll bring out snacks and food for you two. Thank you very much. Would you like any help? No, what kind of host would I be if I gave you work to do? Come on, let a mother do the job she does best. Fuss over the children. You know, Yuri, you may be one of the most polite young women I've ever met. Thank you. I'm sure that's just an exaggeration, though. At this rate, Yuri's going to break her record for thanking people in one day. No, seriously. You can't believe how glad I am that my son's dating such a respectful, intelligent young lady. Yuri blushes and ducks her head bashfully. Which was to be expected, come on. There's only so many compliments someone can take. So, tell me more about yourself. I heard that you two met in the literature club. Yes, we did. I'd actually been in the club for a while before Code joined. As you can probably guess, books are pretty important to Yuri. Ha! I wish more people took up reading as a hobby. After all, you know what they say, well-read people are less likely to be evil. Who in the world has said that? I'll bet Yuri knows. Do you, Yuri? Well, yes. Ha! There you go. Mom smiles smugly at me as Yuri looks on amusedly. Anyway, please continue with your story. Right, where was I? Yes, Sayori brought Code to the club and that's how I met him. She's even bought me a book to make sure I feel welcome. That's right, it was Portrait of Markov. Oh, so was it love at first sight then? Yuri and I look at each other. Well, I definitely thought that Yuri was really cute when the first time I met her. Yuri's
turns scarlet, although she smiles at my words.
I usually try to reserve my judgment of others until I get to know them better. But I did find Code to have quite the endearing charm. And it certainly helped that he's very open-minded too. Ah yes, if I remember correctly, you have a bit of an unconventional taste in literature. Well, I wouldn't call it unconventional, but I do enjoy a good bit of horror. A woman after my own heart. Well, I'm more of a thriller fan than a horror fan, but close enough. Have you read many mystery novels, Yuri? I've read most of the famous ones, yes. I usually read older authors, though, such as Agatha Christie and Arthur Conan Doyle. I hope I didn't butcher any name right now. I think I got him. I think I got him though. Ah, you do seem to like the classic type. Or you do seem like the classic type. At any rate, I'm very glad that I'll have someone to speak about literature with now. Code here never used to read before you came along. What? That's not true. I'll stop trying to impress Yuri. The only thing you'd ever read was manga. Well, Code has gotten much more into reading since you've last seen him, though. We regularly discuss the books we read together. It's basically like a mini lecture whenever I talk to Yuri about that stuff. That's all pretty interesting, though. Yuri, I'll have to thank you for being such a good influence to Code. It's not a problem. And I trust that you two concentrate just as much on your schoolwork as you do on your books. Yes, Mom. And Yuri here's a top student, so you don't need to worry about her. It wouldn't be too much to hope that Yuri's helped you study some with it. Actually, I have a bit. Yeah, well, the whole club has gotten together for a few study sessions too. That's great to hear. And how have exams been going? They started today, right? Yep, we both did fine, right, Yuri? I'd say that our study sessions together definitely helped. We were actually gonna study today too. Oh, don't mind me then. Feel free to run along and study. I won't be heading off for another business trip for a while, so we'll have more time to catch up later. Are you sure? I wouldn't want your reunion to cut off prematurely. Oh great, she's gonna be sticking around, so that's another voice I have to do a bit more frequently from now on. I think it's acceptable though. Of course I'm sure. Unfortunately for us all, exams wait for no one. You two had better do just as well on tomorrow's exams as you did on today's. Whoa, what just happened? Please refrain from posting links. I'm very sorry about that. Sorry for the timeout. I'm sorry about that. What were you going to post? Just hang on a second. Where is it? There we go. Okay, don't worry, I got it. I can see it, okay. Don't worry about it, I can see it now. I know I haven't given you any permissions, but I am gonna need to check this out. Now, the reason I don't really usually allow links is simply because, well, basic reasons: avoid self-promotion, stuff like that. And avoid viruses, potentially. But now I see it. Okay. So the question is, do you honestly want me to check it out right now? What did you say? It was like 25 seconds. Okay. In that case, hang on a second. I'm gonna watch it right now. I probably won't let it show up on
I'll watch it, but I won't put it on video, okay? So let me just quickly watch that. Not a boulder, it's the rock. The rock. That's not a rock, that's the rock. Honestly. Wow. Was that Dwayne the Boulder Johnson? Sorry. Are you kidding me? I mean, completely off topic. But hey, I do enjoy a short sketch every once in a while. So you have good taste, I have to give it to you. God. I mean, I don't know how you thought about that clip right now, considering that it honestly has pretty much nothing to do with what's going on here. But still, I appreciate a good gag every once in a while. Now let me quickly throw this back on. There we go. Because I know that the game audio was off for the duration of me watching that clip. But yeah, thanks for the clip. I know, again, completely unrelated, but as long as it gets a good laugh out of me, I can appreciate it once in a while. But not too often, because if I were to get multiple clips like that, that would just completely distract me from the game after a while. Speaking of distracting me from the game, I should probably continue reading it now. Alright, Mom, I guess we'll study in my room for now. Good luck on your studies. I'll bring up some fresh fruit for you later. I can't read anymore. See what you did to me see what you did to me, Monica. You distracted me. I can't read anymore. You disrupted my literary abilities. How could you do this to me? Thank you for your hospitality. You're more than welcome, dear. It's nice to see my mom again. I won't have to worry about cooking for myself now, too. Your mother is definitely very kind-hearted. Yeah, I was surprised how good she was at coaxing you out of your shell. I did feel very awkward at first, but she somehow got me to relax after a while. Well, I suppose it helped that she's a reader herself. And she does remind me of my own mother. What was your mother like, if you don't mind me asking? In personality, she wasn't actually too similar to your mother. I'd say that she was a lot more demure, and certainly much less sarcastic. I think it's just that they both share a loving warmth that's plain for all to see. That makes sense. Anyway, I can see where your sense of humor came from. I mean, I have spent my whole life around her. I know that you don't tend to cook a lot by yourself, but you should cook something for your mother sometime. I'm sure that it would be a happy surprise for her, plus it's nice to be able to help your parents out. Okay, time to hydrate for the first time in today's stream, because otherwise I'm gonna die. Alright. First time hydrating after almost an hour and a half. It was about time, I guess. It shows that you don't take them for granted. Yuri. I gently reach out and hold Yuri's hand. Sorry if this is bringing up some painful memories for you. No, you're perfectly fine, Code. I suppose that it's just making me feel wistful. You know what? We should all cook a family meal together one day. You, me, and my mom. That'd be nice. Yuri reaches up to caress my cheek. Family.
It felt like the whole world crumbled beneath me when I lost my parents. But slowly, bit by bit, it seems like my world is being rebuilt. I'm glad that you're the one helping me rebuild, Code.
And I'm glad that I can help you too. We simultaneously lean in for a kiss. My family is back from abroad and I've got my girlfriend by my side. Life is good. Life is good. That it is. That it is. It do be like that. Been a few days since Mom and Yuri met in person. I've been on cloud 9 ever since. It's amazing how happiness and bliss can literally transport you to another world. And with the ringing of the bell signaling the end of the final lesson of the day, I eagerly jump to my feet. White Day is upon us and I've wanted to give Yuri my gift ever since I woke up. I make my way over to Yuri's classroom after I take out my gift. It's not quite as fancy as the chocolates she gave me, but I'm hoping she'll appreciate the thought all the same. Eventually I spot her in the throng of students emerging from her classroom. You know, for a second there I read it as something else. I'm glad I didn't read it out loud as that. Because that would be weird. Definitely weird. With a smile and a wave, she makes her way over to me. Reaching out, I gently clasp her hand in mine, which predictably causes her to blush. Given it's White Day, I'm feeling a little more daring. I've waited all day to give you these. I'm practically bouncing on my feet. She giggles slightly, covering her mouth with her hand. My, someone is rather excited. She takes the gift bag from my hands, her smile grows wider and more heartfelt. I didn't want to give these to you at lunch, kinda felt like the reward would be better if I waited until the end of the day, you know.
Well, I do say that good things come to those who wait. Oh my god, this looks incredible.
Inside is the White Day cake I picked out for her. The cake was Mom's idea, and given its elegant design, I was definitely not complaining. She was convinced that Yuri would love it, and based on Yuri's reaction, it's safe to say that motherly instincts are pretty accurate.
Thank you, I really appreciate this. But you didn't have to go this far for me, silly. Not that I don't appreciate your gift.
Oh, I know I didn't have to, but I wanted to. I leaned forward and planted a kiss directly on her lips. Her eyes widen as I quickly pull away, grinning.
You do know how to fluster me, don't you?
That I do. Happy White Day, Yuri. The red blush on Yuri's cheeks made the wait 100% worth it. Come on. Exam revisions can wait for one evening. Spend the rest of the day with me.
How could I say no?
After swinging the door open, I call out for Mom. Mom! No reply. Is she out?
There is a note here, Code. It says that she's gone out to town to see some friends. She'll be back later in the evening, and that you should call her if there's anything we need.
So we're home alone?
Yes, it would seem that way.
What should we do?
Well...
She starts fidgeting. Why has it suddenly got really awkward? Oh. It's happening again. Let me just double check the settings for a moment. I want to make sure sense and nudity is still on. Yes. Sense and nudity is definitely on. There's no need to worry about anything happening. It worked out the previous Doki Doki stream, so it should work out now too. And if this is happening, then I have a sneaking suspicion that my viewer count is gonna increase a bit again. Which is kind of sad that people only stop by for the more daring scenes. I really need to think about things before I speak. I didn't mean
It's okay. Would you like to make a bento box with me? If I recall, you seemed to really enjoy my bento when we shared with Natsuki.
Relieved at the topic change, I eagerly jumped at her suggestion. Oh, come on. I actually made sure to double check if everything was fine. And now you're jumping away from this. Yeah, that sounds good. Mom did a lot of shopping yesterday and she's made bento boxes before, so I'm fairly sure she'll have the ingredients. What are you thinking of putting in it?
We should decide that once we see what ingredients we have at our disposal.
Ah, yeah, good point. We start rummaging through the cabinets, well, more like I rummage. Yuri looks a little hesitant, clearly unsure if it's her place to be rifling through the kitchen. Do you have anything in mind?
Mine are usually quite simple. Rice or noodles, some kind of protein, and cooked vegetables. Standard home-cooked affair, you know. But given that it's White Day, how about we cook something a bit more extravagant for it?
What are you thinking?
Do you know how to make sushi?
No, but I'm willing to try for the end result.
Alright then. We could make some other side dishes using vegetables and soybeans too. For the sushi itself, fish would do nicely, but if you don't have any, we can make it with an alternative.
I dug my head out of the fridge and turned to Yuri with a bemused expression on my face. You can look with me, you know. It's your house as much as it's mine.
Right, of course.
With her help, we're quickly able to identify appropriate ingredients and soon begin preparing the meal.
Okay, so if you finished chopping all that, you can add it to the water in the pot and turn up the heat until it's boiling, then turn it back down to medium. Don't forget to add the seasonings to the water too.
I have to chop up all these vegetables, right?
Yes, the lotus root, carrots, white radish, and mushrooms. Obviously, you don't have to chop up the soybeans and konbu.
Ha, got it.
In the meantime, I'll get started on the rice.
We both get to work as soon as the smells of delicious meal starts wafting through the kitchen. Thankfully, the meal isn't particularly difficult to prepare, so we're able to talk about other things while we're preparing it. I don't think Mom would believe her eyes if she saw what I was doing right now.
Ah, the cooking?
Yeah, but not just that. I don't think she'd ever have expected that my first girlfriend would have taught me how to make delicious meals like this.
First girlfriend?
Oh. Sorry, I didn't mean like, way to go, Code. The silence is proving to be excruciatingly awkward. It was just a stupid choice of words. Anyway, I guess it's a pleasant surprise for her. I've always been a lazy cook, if you could even call me a cook.
Well, there's no better time to learn than the present.
Another wise bit of insight from you. She smiles slightly, but I can tell that what I just said is still playing on her mind. Well, I guess wording can be interpreted a bit strangely sometimes. Did I really mess up that badly? I wasn't trying to say that we won't last. Either way, I'm really not a fan of how quiet she suddenly became. But hey, at least Mom really likes you. At least. Do you think your parents would have liked me?
Code, would you mind spooning the cooked rice into a bowl?
Sure thing. I do as she requests, awaiting her next command.
Next, you want to stir together the rice vinegar and sugar until they dissolve, then mix them into the cooled rice.
And done.
Okay, now I'll deal with the nori sheet.
She starts with the sushi preparations. Delicacy and precision in every movement.
Yes, I certainly think they would have approved of your code. Although I think they may have been a little surprised, no doubt, expecting my boyfriend to be more of a reader, at least before we started dating. I remember my father used to joke that boys may break your heart, but books will always be there for you. That little quip always makes me smile.
Is that the kind of humor you like?
Neither of my parents were sarcastic, so sarcasm is, well, quickly lost on me, as I'm sure you've noticed.
Surprised you're dating me then. You know how snarky I can be.
Funnily enough, it's actually one of the things I appreciate about you the most.
Huh? Really? But you just said you don't really get sarcasm.
I didn't, at least initially, but being around you has given me more of an insight into a new style of humor, which I enjoy. Much like with literature, there's a variety in humor. You have a knack for making me laugh, don't forget.
I'm glad that my comedy genius has finally been recognized.
See what I mean? Anyway, I think we're ready to mix the mackerel with the mayonnaise and spring onion.
We're gonna use black pepper for seasoning, right?
Yes, we are. You're learning quickly.
Happens when you learn from the best. I swiftly planned another kiss, this time on Yuri's forehead. I don't know why I'm feeling especially affectionate today. Must be White Day. But damn is it enjoyable. An hour or so later, we're both digging into our meals. It's a shame Mom wasn't around to see us making a dish together. Maybe then she'd believe me. Is it just me, or does food taste a lot better when you've made it yourself?
Most definitely. It's something I've come to appreciate.
Maybe I could teach Sayori one day. Her diet is probably worse than mine. You know, this is kind of awkward right now. Hang on a second. Let me just quickly... Alright, sorry. I'm back in it now. Just getting slightly uncomfortable. Not like mentally uncomfortable, but physically uncomfortable. I had to readjust a bit. Considering I haven't even gone that long, it's a surprise that happened today. Anyway, we were at ...
Speaking of Sayori, what did you two get up to?
Oh, on that day where we just hung out? Yuri nods. We went down memory lane, I guess. Both literally and figuratively. We went to the park where we first met, talked about life, I guess. I'm glad I got to apologize to her, though. That guilt has been hanging over me for some time.
I assume she was rather forgiving.
Oh yeah, of course. Told me not to worry about her abandoning her and that it's a given I'd spend more time with you. She was happy that I'm back in her life and she gets to see me in school and stuff. Hearing her words helped, but I don't know, I still feel a little guilty.
Well, that's completely normal, Code. The most important thing to remember is that she doesn't hold anything against you and that you two are still good friends. There's plenty of time to be able to spend with her again. After all, you both enjoy each other's company, did you not?
Yeah, we did. Even though our friendship isn't exactly the same as how it used to be, we were still able to get along like nothing had really happened. The playful teasing, the shared nostalgia.
She really makes you happy, doesn't she?
I nod. I don't think I'll ever meet anyone with such a strong, carefree, bubbly persona.
You always do look exuberant around her.
Huh? Do I?
Yes, you do. Perhaps it's buried in your subconscious.
Well, I guess I do have fun hanging out with her. It's nice to be around someone who doesn't take things that seriously. Like I can just chill with her and joke about random stuff. She's gotten really good at being able to cheer me up too.
I see.
I mean, how can someone who's always smiling not cheer you up? It probably activates mirror neurons or something. The way Sayori's laugh can be so infectious. You get what I mean? Yeah. Where's the sudden dramatic tension coming from? Well, you see, when you're spending time with your girlfriend and you're just talking about another girl and praising her without end. On a day that was supposed to be, you two dating, pretty much. I guess it's kind of a given that there would be tension. Again, I don't know too much about it myself, but I can infer as much. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right in this case. Yuri, is everything okay? You seem kinda off. Or is she gonna cut herself again? In that case, we're gonna need to calm her down.
Code, you're usually quite in tune with others' feelings, but sometimes you can be extremely dense.
Thank you! That's what I've been saying this whole time! That's why I can't see this main character as myself, because I know I can be dense too. But there's so many situations where I just pity the main character for his lack of cognitive ability. I know I'm not the brightest person either, but at least I'm not this stupid. At least I think so. Please tell me I'm not that stupid. Am I that stupid? Am I as stupid as the main character? Please tell me I'm not. Oh god. Jeez, I never claimed that I could read people's minds. Anyway, what's the sudden change in tone? I thought we were having a great time cooking.
You always grin so broadly when you're Sayori.
Is she even listening to me? Like I said before, if I do, I don't notice it.
Well, even if you don't notice yourself, other people can. If you contrast it with how you act around me, there's a marked difference.
A marked difference? Off the top of my head, I kiss and cuddle with you. That's something I shouldn't be doing with other people, right? I reach out and pull Yuri in for a hug, but she shies away from me. Yuri?
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? I suppose it's so ingrained in you that you wouldn't notice unless I outright said it.
If I'm supposedly this dense, feel free to enlighten me on the matter. I know that I shouldn't be getting sarcastic with her, but I can't help feeling more and more irritated as this conversation continues.
You always look happiest when you're with Sayori. Even when you just talk about her or think about your past with her.
Well, I don't know about happiness, but she's my childhood friend. It's only natural to feel happy when I think about someone I've known for years and years, isn't it?
It's just as I suspected.
Huh?
She makes you happier than I do, doesn't she?
What? My mind is spinning. How did we go from making food together and sharing a kiss to this? Now again, I can't tell if it's purely because she genuinely feels overly conscious about this kind of thing, or if she actually is deliberately guilt-tripping me into spending less time with Sayori while still outright being supportive and stuff. Because that might be her clingy side. Her being clingy and at the same time very intelligent could very well mean that she's openly saying that she approves of me spending time with Sayori, but then subtly guilt-tripping me into spending less time with her. I wouldn't put it past her, she's definitely smart enough to do that, and but I do hope it's purely because she genuinely feels a little bit self-conscious about that sort of thing. Yuri, we spoke about this. Where's this coming from? She doesn't reply, instead opting to fiddle with her sleeves. Come on, Yuri, talk to me.
If we spoke about this before, then why don't you understand why I'm upset?
Just because you know why you're upset doesn't mean that I know. Can't you just tell me what's wrong?
I don't understand how you can analyze books so extensively, but remain blind when it comes to things like this.
I really don't want to play the blame game, but look, I think I get that you might be feeling jealous. I mean, you just explicitly compared yourself to her. But I don't get why you're suddenly this upset when we've been having such a nice time.
You realize that you were talking at length about how you feel about Sayori.
And yes, I know. I know. I've called the main character out on this as well.
And on our white day, date night no less.
Yes, that's what I said as well. You started the conversation about her though. True, but you didn't have to go into it that extensively, right? Just say, yeah, you were hanging out, reminiscing about stuff, and that's that. To be honest, Yuri bringing that topic up was also kind of bad timing on her part, but still. It's you who decided to go into detail.
I was admittedly curious about what you did with her in the beginning, but I didn't mean for it to span an entire conversation about how you felt towards Sayori. After a while, I was only engaging in the conversation with you to be polite. I didn't want to just ignore what you said about her. I suppose it was too much to expect you to be more tactful about it. Again, I'm not a mind reader. How am I supposed to know when you're upset when you rarely explicitly express it? Why can't you just tell me things? I'm guessing that you don't have these kind of arguments with Sayori.
Of course not, because I'm not dating her. Are you sure this is just about jealousy? I thought that you said you weren't jealous of my hanging out with Sayori before. Didn't you say that you were only jealous of her personality and our close relationship itself?
Yes, I did.
Then is there something more that you're upset about? If you have a problem, just tell me. Stop beating around the bush or I'll never get what you want to say.
Do you know how difficult it is for me to tell people how I'm feeling? I've spent the past decade or so of my life suppressing my outwardly shown emotions.
Well, at least, I mean, it was bound to happen. This is our first major conflict. It happens. Now, again, I know nothing about this from personal experience, but from what I've heard, this happens in most relationships at some point. So, it was bound to happen. Especially considering that the main character is incredibly dense. So, at least we get it out of the way early. But you can try, can't you?
This is me trying, Code. I just communicate more subtly.
Okay, how about you try communicating unsubtly then?
You don't get it. The difficulty I have when speaking about these things, it's almost like as if there's something physically blocking my throat.
Great. This is just escalating now, and I get it. By this point, you're just gonna keep going. By this point, you rarely realize that you're just escalating the situation, and it's just gonna keep going and going until Yuri's eventually gonna be so upset that she just leaves. That's what I'm expecting. We're gonna keep discussing this, and then Yuri's just gonna be upset and leave. And then we're gonna have to reconcile over some time. And then it's gonna be back to how it used to be. That's how I'm expecting this to go. That's just your own thoughts in your head making you feel that way though, right? Just get it over with and blurt out your inner thoughts, like ripping off a band-aid. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. I know you can do it, Yuri.
With all due respect, Code, I didn't even tell you about my self-harm of my own accord. It was purely by accident that you found out.
Even so, it felt better after you talked to me about it, right?
Yes, but...
So just tell me what's bothering you. I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. She doesn't reply. The sudden strained silence feels more uncomfortable by the second. Yuri? I sigh inwardly. I hate apologizing for things that aren't my fault. I'm sorry, okay? I know how you feel, so...
No, you don't. How can you possibly know what this feels like, Cole? Do you constantly consider yourself an embarrassment? Do you know how it feels to have people feel nothing but pity towards you? To have people see you as a freak?
Well, no, but... Well, but you just said you know how she feels.
That's precisely my point.
Alright. Jeez, I get it. Just because I don't have those specific problems, it doesn't mean I don't have my own ones to deal with, you know? Everyone around us has their own demons, so stop acting like it's only you. I wince as soon as those words leave my mouth. They sounded a lot less harsh in my head. The look of deep hurt on Yuri's face prompts me to quickly try and undo the damage that's been unleashed. I really rub my forehead with my own hands. It's just really frustrating being told that my problems don't matter, you know?
That's not what I said.
How would you feel if I did this stuff? Refused to talk to you about any negativity I was feeling towards you and, well, cut myself.
I feel like I deserve it.
What? Did she really just say that? I expected her to get angry and lash out, not provide such a self-deprecating remark. Deserve?
Let's be honest, Code. I am an awful girlfriend.
I have to force myself not to roll my eyes or sign exasperation. Yuri seizes on my silence and carries on with her depreciative tirade.
I hide things from you. You're always doing nice things for me. What thoughtful things have I done for you, Code?
You. She doesn't even let me answer as she forcefully carries on.
You organized a lovely day for Valentine's. I couldn't even return the favor for White Day. Here we are, acting like it's just any other day, all because I couldn't even organize something romantic for us. It's another pathetic trait of mine that I'll never be able to shake, no matter how much I will it away.
Her breathing is growing faster and faster, her tone is becoming more and more venomous. The feeling of being unable to reach her while she stands in front of me is unbelievably demoralizing.
I'm trying to be the perfect girlfriend to you, I really am. I thought that by making love to you, that would help. After all, it seems like that's the only thing I can provide you.
Wow. So that happened out of pity. Well, that's one way to... Wow. Well, so it wasn't mutual interest, it was just like, hey, I can do this in order to help you out. And that's it. Wait. What? Yep. Yep. You heard her. Back up a second there, Yuri. What exactly do you mean by that? Please don't tell me that you felt like you had to have sex with me. She doesn't even need to nod or say yes, the silence is just as damning in confirming my fear.
I thought it was what I had to do.
You said you wanted to...
I wanted to please you.
I ran my hands through my face. It feels like... everything that was going so well mere moments ago is suddenly being flipped on its head. No, 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 Yuri. You don't have to be perfect. Why didn't you just say something? If you weren't comfortable, that's all you had to say. But of course, it isn't that easy for her, is it?
I'm sorry, I know I should have said something.
I don't know what to say. My mind is still trying to process what I'm hearing. Things haven't really been going as well as I thought they were. With my face in my hands, I hear Yuri get up and walk away from me. Wait, where are you going?
I need the bathroom.
Oh no, it's happening again. Don't. I don't like those eyes. I mean, we all know what she's gonna do now. We all know what she's gonna do now. Do you have one of your knives with you from your collection, or are you just planning to use a razor again? Instantly, my mind flashes back to the last time I saw her in the bathroom. The razor, the gasp of pain, the vicious, jagged cuts on her forearms. The very arms that she's clutching right now. Yuri, don't.
I can't help it.
Yuri runs from the room, already starting to push up her sleeves. In a panic, I follow her, even just from the glimpses I catch from behind her. I am afforded a sight I wish I didn't have to see. A crisscross of gashes, each in a different state of healing. Although most looked scabbed over, a few smaller ones look like more fresh. Look a little more fresh, as I can just make out a little specks of blood leaking from the wound. It's heartbreaking to see. I grab her shoulder when I catch up to her and stop her in her tracks. To my surprise, however, Yuri begins scratching at her wrist, an action which catches me off guard, as I was expecting her to pull out a blade of some sorts. Does she not have a blade with her? This is the first time I've actually seen her in the act, and it's a sight like nothing I've ever seen before. And she's crying. That might be something that happened. She might have not brought a blade with her, and that's why she's scratching now. Then again, she positively rips and tears at her arm, raking her nails down her skin and leaving angry red streaks on in their wake. Dark red dots of blood spot her scratch marks. The visceral nature of her desperate scratching frightens me. It's almost as though she's trying to destroy all the progress she's put into healing, just to leave ugly reminders of her flaws behind. Ugly. This is the first time I've associated that word with Yuri. But no amount of bleeding that her scars are beautiful would change the fact that they're frankly the opposite. I'm struck by a pang of guilt at that thought. Should I be thinking about self-harm like this? But I shouldn't act like I am blind to the scars, right? Either way, that's all irrelevant in the moment. I've got to concentrate on Yuri. What are you doing? She doesn't reply, instead opting to tear away scabs with her fingernails. Yuri? What? What are you doing?
What do you think I'm doing?
Okay, no need to get mad about it. There's a sharp biting edge to her tone.
Did you think cutting was the only way you could self-harm?
Yeah? Wow, you're an idiot. Well, then again, you said previously that you were dense, so at least you know you're an idiot. Yuri, please. Please just stop. In desperation, I reach out and grab her arm. However, she quickly wrenches it out of my grip and jumps aside. Her scratching continues more furiously than ever. All of my instincts are screaming at me to intervene, but every time I step towards her, she shies away. As the scratching carries on, the expression on her face slowly grows more relaxed. It's awful knowing that the only thing causing her to relax is the pain that she's inflicting onto herself. Eventually, the scratching comes to an end. The slow trickle of blood down her wrist matches the slow trickle of tears down her face. My brain is trying to process that I've just witnessed Yuri self-harming. Needless to say, it's not doing a very good job. Silence falls between us. What am I even meant to say?
I told you I was a freak.
We have to get you some help for this, Yuri. Don't push it. You're being a bit too pushy again. You know she doesn't want that. You know she doesn't want you to be pushy. And you're doing it anyway, because you're dense. Hooray! This really can't carry on. Yuri snorts at my statement. What?
Do you think I don't know that it's bad?
If you know it, then why do you keep doing this? Oh my god, you're seriously... Do we need to give up hope on the protagonist? I know he admitted that he's dense, but he's still going on like this. Why? How? How can you be this immensely stupid? Is this going to happen every time we have an argument? I can't help but feel anger as those words resound through my head. Why not? How would you even know? You haven't even tried. How would you know if she hasn't tried? You goddamn idiot, don't say that like you know for sure. This could have been avoided if I just what code? Therapy isn't just some magical fairy tale fix. We're just making this worse. We're just making it worse. Nothing else I can say about this. There has to be some sort of solution to this, right? Some sort of solution that doesn't involve actively pushing her if she says multiple times that she doesn't want it. We've made progress in saying that in telling her that she's supposed to think about it, and that worked. Okay, at least making her think about it. But now you're pushing again, and that's a no-go. Something like this can't just be resolved immediately. Give her time, you goddamn idiot. I've already told you that it's just not that easy for me, yet you seem to continually forget that in your self-righteous lectures. Lectures? Really? That's what you think these are? I mean, how would you like it if I cut and scratched myself bloody? She already said she thinks she deserves it. How would you like it if I turned my arms into an ugly mess? Oh, and now you've indirectly insulted her. You've indirectly basically confirmed her suspicions that you think of her as a freak. I know you're caught up in the moment, but this is not how you handle this. Silence. I didn't even realize I was breathing heavily until now. And worst of all, the distressed look on Yuri's face tells me that for the first time tonight, I might have just crossed the line. Wordlessly, she quickly yanks her sleeve down and pushes past me. With heartbreaking realization, I quickly see that fresh tears are now leaking down her face once more. Yuri? I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I desperately reach out to her once again, but she whirls around at my touch, wearing an expression that honestly terrifies me. Not the first time she's shown that expression. I don't want to hear it. Her expression, the line, the delivery, the tone. Out of reflex, I shrink back. She storms out of the corridor. Distantly, I hear her making her way out of my house. The slam of the door makes me wince. And so, I'm left standing there, still trying to figure out what just happened. I slowly make my way back to the kitchen, bits and pieces of our argument flashing through my mind. The food's still on the table. If you just walked into the house, you'd have never suspected that such a scene had taken place just moments before. What looked like warm, delicious food before now appears slimy and cold to me. As I slump down in a chair, I can't help but worry about what Yuri's going to do when she gets back home. I should have gone after her. I should have done anything but let her go. Well, I say that, but in reality I know that I couldn't have done much. What was I supposed to do? Imprison her in my house? Physically restraining her until her impulses abated? If I had done that, I don't know what she would have, if she would have ever forgiven me. I don't want to out her to anyone else without her permission, so I don't think I should tell our friends or my mom. Would calling the police be an overreaction? Yes, it would be. If she were contemplating suicide, I would call, but didn't she say long ago that she specifically wasn't suicidal? Should I trust her words and leave her be? We just established that she doesn't necessarily tell me everything, though. Doesn't mean she'd lie to me, though, right? Yeah, not telling someone everything and straight up lying to them is definitely two different topics. So I don't think that we have to worry about that. With a sudden rush of adrenaline, I whip out my phone and call Yuri. Please pick up. The dial tone seems to mock me as it endlessly rings. No answer. Shit. I try again, and again, and again. You know what? Now we're the clingy one. I think she really needs some space right now. if you just had an argument, you need... Again, I talk like I'm an expert despite having almost no experience here. But if you just had an argument with someone, you can't just immediately run back to them. You need to give them some time, and also take some time for yourself, so that both of you can think about what happened and come to terms with it and calm down properly. You can't just immediately, the moment after it happened, try to call them and be like, hey, everything's okay now, right? That's not gonna work. At least I'd be surprised if it works. But there's still no answer. Feeling a bit of despair settling in my stomach, I opt to leave a pleading voicemail in the end. Well, it was foolish to expect a reply, wasn't it? Unable to bear the sight of our white date dinner any longer, I stumble into the living room and slump down onto the sofa. Although I know full well that it's a pointless endeavor, I still reach for the TV remote to flick the television on, desperate for something to try to take my mind off tonight's events. I can almost sense the restless night coming up. Hang on. No, that's not high quality enough image, I can't tell. I was wondering if this is a reference to some other anime or game or anything, but I can't tell from this resolution. I can't tell. If anyone knows, this goes both to my pretty much non-existent live chat right now, as well as the comment sections over on YouTube later on. If anyone knows if this is a reference to anything, please just feel free to tell me. God damn it. Just when I thought life was getting good. I really went and jinxed it, didn't I? I just hope Yuri and I can talk things over soon. Another day. Been a few days since Yuri and I had our argument. She never once returned my calls or texts, which makes me really scared that I've truly caused some irreparable damage. Still, it's a school day today, so at least there we'd be able to talk. That is, if she comes to school and isn't just like, oh, I'm sick. And another link. Again, I'm sorry that it's happened. I mean, I can permit you, but... Okay, first of all, what even is that link? It's definitely not a YouTube link, so... I'd love to get some information. It's a meme. It's a meme. Well, again, I want to kind of make links. I don't know. You know what? It's not to worry, I can still see it, so I'm still gonna check it out. Though I'm gonna be, of course... Hang on a second. I'm not gonna just give random people permission, so sorry about that. Let me just check. Okay, got it. Origama mask to protect you from the coronavirus. It was made in China. Fair enough. Decent meme, but once again, how is it there's no relation to this game? I mean, don't get me wrong, I appreciate a good meme every now and then, but it once again kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it? Right? I don't really understand how you or why you how your thought process wanders to those memes currently. It's pretty quiet right now. I should probably continue on a little bit just so there's sound again, because this silence is probably a little bit awkward right now. Assuming she doesn't bunk off. Yeah. Nah, she wouldn't. Or maybe she would. Refusing to entertain the thought, I begin my morning routine. Sound. Thank you for coming back. Okay. Shortly after I start my walk, I notice a familiar face, although not quite the one I was hoping for. It's Sayori. Hi, Code. Hey, Sayori, what are you doing here? She frowns at my question as if I'd asked her something stupid. What do you mean? This is the route I take to get to school, silly. It's just surprising seeing you up this early, that's all. Oh, hehe. She shrugs nonchalantly. Well, you know what this means, right? We can walk to school together. I try my best to sound enthusiastic, at least for Sayori's sake. Yeah, let's do it. Probably didn't work. Code? Is everything okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Why do you ask? I just had a little feeling that something was bothering you, that's all. Compared to the last time we hung out, you don't seem as happy. I glance over at her. There's a spark of curiosity lurking behind her eyes, but there's no denying the comforting smile on her face. Maybe it'd be a good idea to get some outside perspective. I chuckle to myself. You've always been good at reading me, Sayori. It's about Yuri, isn't it? Got it in one. She pauses, looking thoughtful. We had an argument, and I'm not really sure what to do now. I tried calling her after she stormed out, but she never replied, and this was during Friday evening. Ah, so it's Monday now and she still hasn't spoken to you yet? I nod. Sayori pauses, looking thoughtful. What did you guys argue about? I can't really say that. It's not really my place to, if it makes any sense. It was pretty personal. That's okay, Code. I understand that you guys have your own personal stuff to deal with. But what should I do? Should I let her come to me? I don't want to be overbearing, but at the same time it's killing me that I can't talk to her. Sayori pats my shoulder sympathetically. Well, I'm kinda limited with how much I can help. Sorry, I know it must be really frustrating being asked for help, and yet I can't even tell you what's going on. It's okay. To be honest, I'm not surprised that Yuri chose to spend time by herself after the fight. After all, everyone knows how introverted she is. And introverts really like their own space. So you're saying I should leave her be? You've already tried calling her a few times, right? So she'll know that you're obviously concerned for her. Maybe you should just let her come to you when she's comfortable doing so. Is that what you'd do if you were me? I think so, yeah. But I've never been in a relationship before, so I don't really know all this girlfriend and boyfriend stuff. Believe me, Sayori, neither do I. What does your heart tell you to do? Well, I don't know about my heart, but my brain is definitely telling me that it's confused. Why can't my organs just get along? She giggles. You shouldn't worry, Code. You're such a nice, caring guy, I'm sure you will come around eventually. I hope so. Anyway, on to something less depressing. Mom came home a few days ago. Ooh, it must be lovely. She's been away for a while, if I remember, right? Yeah, she's been gone since, like, late August, so it's been a long time since I've physically seen her. Okay, I read your comment. You're asking if you can send another link. Now, I am probably not gonna permit random people I've just met this stream, because if I gave every random person permission, then there's no point to having those rules in the first place. But I still think I'll check it out, even if it does get you timed out for a moment again. So yeah, sure. It's probably gonna be completely unrelated once again, if I had to guess. But so far, it's fine. Let me see. It's another quick YouTube link. Let me just quickly turn off the sound. What is it this time? Okay. 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 That was another short one, as to be expected, because longer ones would really be out of place, considering that that's not what we're here for. Wait, let me just get the sound going again. Inhale. Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know what to expect from your links. None of them are related to anything. They're not really related to each other. They're not related to the game. So every time I'm just like, okay, what is it? What is it this time? I have no idea. Not to say that it wasn't funny, okay? But would now be a good time to admit that I've never really actively watched Family Guy. I mean, I've seen a few singular episodes every now and then, but like very, very rarely. Well, I mean, Doki Doki memes are at least connected to the game I'm playing, so that makes sense. Also, I apologize for not just giving you permission. It just keeps deleting your previous messages, but well, I can still read them, and it's not like many other people are reading this anyway, so it's not like anyone really cares, right? So sure, if you want to share, I'll check it out. This is kind of, but I have to admit, it's kind of distracting me from playing the game a bit, because this is not a meme stream. This is supposed to be a stream where I actually get on with the game. But sure, it's at least somewhat related, so I'll have a look at it. That is if you want to share. And there's the next timeout. It just keeps happening and keeps happening. Oh, it's an ad. Hang on a second. And of course, I'm sorry about that. That's one of the reasons why I usually mute before I go into that stuff. I forgot that I unmuted it. An ad was really not what I was wanting to see right now. Okay. I know that one. I actually know that one. But I don't think I know this edited version. I just know... I know the dance animation. I've seen it before, but not with this creepy editing on top. Okay. How long is it? 41 seconds? Okay. I just had to make sure that it's not too long because, well, that would be stupid. I was saying that it looked a little bit off, but okay, there was a little bit more in the end. Okay, okay. Just a little bit of Monica. But that's a pretty basic one, I have to admit. Most TDLC memers have seen that little dance animation, but again, I haven't seen the creepy edited one. Alright. Now, let's not get distracted any longer. Let's actually continue before this stream goes completely off the rails. Now, she's been gone since like late... yeah, she's been gone since like late August. It's been a long time since I've physically seen her. How is she? Still the same? Yeah, her motherly instincts never go away. Still feels really guilty about leaving me for so long. The rest of the conversation thankfully isn't as depressing. It doesn't take long for Sayori and I to reminisce about the good old days. But it just doesn't feel right. I can't fully immerse myself, not when there's too much in the present for me to focus on. And that's where we'll call it a day, everyone. I'd encourage you all to do some extra reading on the topic. The build-up to the Second World War had many a contributing factor. Who knows, maybe you'll even find it as interesting as I do. With a self-depreciating smile, he laughs and heads for the door. I might just take him up on the offer after school. But for now I can only listen to the gurgling sounds of my stomach. As I step through the door, I see all of the club room members. Sayori is chatting animatedly with Natsuki while Monika is scribbling something on a notepad. And Yuri? On the other hand, Yuri looks like she's a million miles away. As she idly pokes at her food, I take a seat next to her. Didn't you just say that you were gonna give her some time to come to you? I was just saying that, give her space. She probably already had to, force herself to even come to school today. And now you're just pushing yourself on her again. My heart started thumping the moment I saw her again, and now that I am physically right next to her, the thumping grows stronger. I'm not sure how to approach her. The others are around, and I don't imagine she'd want to cause a scene, so I just opt for a direct approach. You're an asshole. You're basically using the situation so that she's forced to act calmly. And you're clearly making her very uncomfortable. And you should know that, because you're clearly saying that she doesn't want to cause a scene while the others are around. So you know you're being a dick. Why are you doing this to her? Hey, Yuri. Oh no, and everyone's on screen. She might cause a... She might push us away loudly and just say, I don't want to talk to you, or something like that. And then everyone's gonna react. That's the only reason I can think of why everyone would be on screen right now. She jumps a little. Clearly I was right about her being mentally preoccupied. Hi. Okay, she's not causing too much of a scene right now. She doesn't say anything more than that. An awkward silence fills the air. Judging by the curious looks of the other girls, it's clear that it's not gone unnoticed. You okay? You look like a million miles away. Got a book on your mind? Yes? Sayori looks sympathetically towards me while Monika and Natsuki narrow their eyes. The tension between Yuri and I grows more and more apparent by the second. I don't know what to say or do. With everyone else being aware of something amiss between Yuri and I, it feels a million times worse. You caused this. You were aware that the others were here. So you are getting screwed over by your own dick move. It's your own fault. Well, that and that Yuri doesn't wanna talk to me. It's been a few days already. Thankfully, Monika reads the situation and throws me on escape.
So Yuri mentioned that your mom came back last week, Code.
No, I can't do I still can't do it. Monika is probably the hardest voice to do justice, just because she's the only character whose voice you actually hear at the end of the game. And that makes it so much harder to choose a voice that somewhat fits. Because I can't do... You know what, I've complained about this pretty much every single stream. I should just forget about it already and just keep pushing on. It's proving to be a real mental struggle to focus on Monika. Huh? Oh yeah, she did.
And?
And what? She rolls her eyes.
How is it? Seeing her again?
Oh. I look at Yuri again, she's still turned away. The tension is growing by the second. Yeah, it's nice having her back. We got to catch up. And she got to meet Yuri, which I think both of them enjoyed.
She's really nice, isn't she, Yuri? Yes, she is. And oh my god, her cooking is to die for. I really miss it.
You know, things are bad when not even Sayori's cheerfulness can fix the situation. You could just come over again, right? She'd be more than happy to cook for you. The reason the conflict with Yuri happened is partially because of Sayori. So you inviting her over right in front of Yuri, probably not helping the situation right now. In fact, I think she mentioned how she wanted to catch up with you and your family again, so that worked out nice. That worked out nicely.
Really? Oh, well, I might have to take you up on that, Code. Although it would be kind of weird seeing her again.
I mean, it's been how many years since I've met her? Like 4 or 5? Wow, has it really been that long? Yup.
Time really flies, eh?
Tell me about it. It's crazy to think that it's already March. The Christmas party we had feels like just yesterday.
Well, none of us are getting any younger. Might as well make the most of our time together, don't you think?
That's such a Sayuri line, Monica. Our vice president's really rubbing off on you.
Hey, she's not wrong though. Our 3rd year is coming up soon and that's our last one. And who knows what that'll be like.
Stressful, probably.
No kidding.
Although the conversation is flowing between us just fine, Yuri's lack of contribution remains painfully obvious. Every now and again one of us would sneak concerned glances at her direction, but no one really wants to say anything. They know something's up between Yuri and I, and while they are concerned, they probably don't want to get involved in something personal between us two, which is reasonable. More than reasonable. Still, as the bell rings and we start packing away, I can't help but cling on to the hope that Yuri will be a little more receptive when it comes to the club meeting. A few lessons went by, unbearably slow. Finally the bell sounds, signaling what feels like the final opportunity of the day I'll get to talk to Yuri. I shake my head. That sounded ridiculous. I can just talk to her anytime. Or can I? That's also, can I just talk about it? That pause followed by, or can I? Or something like, or is it? That's just like such a Vsauce line. Right? I feel like it. I feel like that's such a typical Vsauce line. I know that that's not just Vsauce using that line. I know that's many people, but I just feel like it's the Vsauce. Michael is just the person I relate that line to the most. Where are your fingers? Okay, it's happening. It's happening. Stay calm.
Okay, everyone. I've been doing some thinking over the weekend, and I had an idea I'd like to try out. Part of what makes us grow as poets is stepping out of our comfort zone and trying new things. Something everyone did really well when we wrote Halloween poems. So this time, I'd like everyone to take one of these.
She pulls out a bunch of what looks like small blank strips of paper out of her bag. What are these?
Each strip has a name written on the other side, and the one you choose will be what you'll have to write your poem about.
Ooh, it could be about literally anything?
Uh-huh. Does anyone want to go first?
I'll do it. Sayuri slips forward and takes a strip. Flipping it over, she reads whatever's written. A thoughtful look crosses her features. Well, this'll be interesting. The rest of us follow suit. Each strip elicits a different response. Mine happens to be control. Of course, I had to get thrown into the deep end. Can we work with someone else?
Of course, collaboration should make this event even more insightful. Have fun, guys.
She turns back to her desk, pen in hand. Hey, Yuri. Mind if we work together? You know, since you're like...
I'm sorry, Cope, but I need to use the bathroom.
Oh no. This... You know, in any other context, this line wouldn't cause too much concern, right? I mean, that happens all the time, that someone just needs to use the bathroom. But coming from Yuri, out of nowhere, also especially when coupled with such an expression, you know exactly what she's gonna do. And we can't really cause a scene because the others are around, and if we cause a scene now, that's gonna cause suspicion, and that's gonna be very bad because Yuri wants to keep it a little bit more discreet, so if we cause a scene now, Yuri's gonna be even more mad at us. That line will forever cause my anxiety levels to shoot through the roof. She stands up and swiftly moves for the door, picking at her sleeves as she does, so I can't just sit here and let her cut herself. But how am I going to excuse myself so I don't look too suspicious? Precious seconds tick by. Must be showing a lot of concern on my face as Sayori and Natsuki are looking at me strangely. Are you okay, Code? Yeah, you're looking kinda weird. Monika puts her pen down and joins in. She could be pulling out a knife right now.
What's going on?
You just said that she had to use the bathroom and now Code looks really worried?
Is everything okay, Code? We could all feel the tension between you two at lunch.
She's rolling up her sleeve while you just sit here like an idiot. I'll be back in a sec. I don't even bother finishing that sentence as I bolt to my feet and head for the door. Wait! My mind is in a frenzy as I hurriedly make my way to the bathroom. Why now? This is so much harder when she doesn't talk to me. Well, here it is, the girls' bathroom. No time to pause before going inside. All social norms be damned. And immediately I'm hit by a sight that never gets any easier to see. Are those bandages? Because if they are bandages, then at least she's... No way, she's just wrapping it so the blood isn't seen through her clothes, isn't it? Yeah, that's what she's doing. She's wrapped it in bandages so the blood doesn't show through her clothes. For a moment there, I had hope that she was actually trying to heal up. Doesn't seem like that's the case. Yuri immediately looks up. I can't tell what's worse, the ashamed look on her face or the freshly soaked bandage on her arm. And those eyes will never cease to frighten me. I don't know why. Maybe just because I know when she usually used those eyes before I played the mod. In the mod, they usually just show up when she's surprised or when she's cutting herself, and sometimes when she gets serious, but I will always see those as her yandere eyes. And there's nothing that will change my mind on that. For a moment we just stand there, looking at each other. She hastily slips her sleeve over the bandage, but the damage has already been done. Yuri, look at me, please. The second stretch on, much like her defiance to meet my eyes. While I'm desperately trying to unscramble my fervent brain, I hear the door behind me open. Thankfully, it's only Sayori. Yeah, imagine someone walking in right now. That would be so awkward. A guy being in the girl's bathroom, staring directly at a girl, who, I don't know if she's actually standing. She might have been kneeling on the ground as well. Probably not. She probably would have been standing just to be able to not look as suspicious if someone comes in. Code? Yuri? Wait, Code, what are you doing here? This is the girls' bathroom. God damn it, Sayori, did you really have to come in now? Your timing couldn't be any worse. I know, I look over at Yuri, who's now avoiding the both of us. Yuri, are you okay?
I'm fine. Are you sure? You look really upset. I'll be okay, thank you. Do you want to talk about it? No, thank you. I appreciate the offer, but I just need some time alone.
And of course, there it is, the withdrawal. Those walls she'll never learn to break out of. I feel a light tug on my sleeve.
Come on, Code.
What?
You should head back for the club.
She can't be serious. I angrily gesture towards Yuri.
Code, can't you see that she needs some space right now? Besides, the other girls are worried about you.
She must have seen how unwilling I was as she sighs and turns to Yuri.
Will you come back to the club when you're feeling up to it?
Wordlessly, Yuri nods. I'm not sure if I believe her, but unfortunately I can't exactly object. With another defeated, weary sigh, I let Sayori take me out of the bathroom and back towards the club room. As soon as we re-enter, Monika and Natsuki jump up, confusion and suspicion etched onto over their faces.
Oh, you're back. mind telling us what that was about, Code?
Yeah, what's with Yuri? Not really my place to say. Can we please just leave it at that? I'm really not in the mood to discuss it any further, and I'm sure Yuri feels the same.
Yeah, I think we should just get on with our poems for now, guys.
I give her a small appreciative smile. Sayuri's knack for reading a situation has always been one of her strengths. Monika and Natsuki don't look particularly satisfied, but wordlessly comply with Sayuri's suggestion. After a while, Yuri quietly slips back into the classroom. Her head is bowed and she's trying to look as inconspicuous as possible. She takes her seat, returns to her poem, but not before a game of eyebrow tennis starts between Natsuki, Sayuri, and Monika.
Everything okay, Yuri? Yes? Apologies for my earlier behavior. It's okay, don't worry about it.
As she says that, Monika and Natsuki fire inquisitive looks my way. I motion towards Yuri and shake my head. Tension still remains, but eventually all the club members return to writing their poems. Thank God. You know, Yuri feels probably incredibly anxious right now because now everyone thinks there's something wrong with her. Well, then again, maybe they are just, you know, thinking that her behavior is strange because of our fight. I hope we can both hope that that's the case, because otherwise people are gonna start assuming that she actually has a problem, which she doesn't want.
Okay, everyone.
She checks her watch.
I think that's pretty much all the time we have, so we'll have to call it here. Feel free to carry on with all your poems at home if you didn't finish it here.
With that, everyone starts packing up their things. As I'm putting my poem in my bag, I notice Yuri hurriedly already walking out the door. Yuri, wait! I scramble after her, but she's already quickly disappearing from sight. Every step she takes feels like another mile between us. I'm still trying to comprehend the drastic change in tone of our relationship has taken. Did I really miss all the signs? You did. How was I meant to know that you just felt pressure to have... Okay, yeah. I agree with you on that one. At least I didn't see any signs in that particular situation either. And more importantly, how am I meant to fucking fix this if she refuses to talk to me? I kick the wall out of frustration, which does absolutely nothing except give me a sickening urge in the pain of my toe.
Code? Did you just kick the wall?
No, I was playing soccer with myself. What do you think? A look of hurt flashes across her face.
Sorry, I'm only trying to help.
Great, now I have a lovely bit of guilt to accompany the pain in my foot. I wince slightly as I reply. Sorry. I know you are.
It's okay, I know you're just upset with all this Yuri stuff. Do you want to walk home together?
Sayori's smiles are capable of melting away the most grouchy of hearts. I don't know if I'll be very good company.
Don't worry about it. I don't mind in the slightest. Besides, I'd never pass up an opportunity to cheer someone up. Well, if they want to talk to me, that is.
Yeah. Alright then. Let's go. The walk back is quiet. Sayori tries to engage me in conversation at first, but stops once she realizes that it's futile. Okay, guess we're here. See you later, Sayori.
Wait. Want me to walk you back to your house?
I have to fight the urge to roll my eyes at her. My house is like 1 minute away. You can see it from here. I'm not gonna drop that in the time it takes for me to walk there.
I know, but... Code, I'm just worried about you. If something bad happened to you, I don't know what I'd do.
Oh, too late for something bad to happen. Too late for something bad to not happen to me. It's fine, Sayori. Thanks for thinking about me, I guess, but right now, I kind of just want to think things over.
Okay, I get it, but if things are really serious, promise that you'll talk to someone, alright? You really shouldn't keep all these things bottled up. Says you. Sayori, who is the one who's keeping things bottled up? Some nice bottles, all lined up on a shelf. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. Who is the one who keeps her depression all to herself? Ah, well, maybe she's willing to come out about her depression eventually as well. Considering that she's telling me to open up and not having stuff bottled up, maybe she realized that she should take her own advice. Well, it's too late for that. Things have already been serious for a while now. Alright, I promise. Good, if you ever need anything, please let me know. Okay. You're like my second mom. Well, if I'm your mom, I gotta make sure I take good care of you. Okay. I'm gonna get going now. Thanks again. Bye, Code. I'll see you tomorrow. Despite Yuri's cheerful talk, I find my mood taking a dive again once I'm away. Don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for a friend like Sayori, but I don't think I'm going to be cheered up that easily. Although without Sayori distracting me, thoughts of Yuri are once again filling my head. What am I supposed to do in this situation? I don't want to be too clingy or forceful, but my situation, maybe the situation calls for it. Or maybe I should give her space for now, like Sayori told me to do that other time. Also, can we just talk about how fitting the title for this stream turned out to be? I didn't intend for it to be fitting in this way, but it worked out. I mean, seriously, so many times the word clingy has come up, but talking about the protagonist, I didn't expect that. I was kind of just trying to describe Yuri and her behavior, but it just fully applies to the protagonist in this particular stream, just entirely. I couldn't have asked for a more fitting title, other than maybe relationship issues. And there's no way I could have known this was going to happen beforehand. So yeah, I really got lucky with my title here. I'm seriously developing a headache from all of this. Okay, I'm just going to let Yuri be for the rest of today, and then talk to her no matter what tomorrow at school. With any luck, nothing goes wrong between now and then. Also, while I, unlike the protagonist, don't have a headache, I'm certainly starting to feel dizzy. Maybe I need to hydrate more. Hang on. Feeling dizzy doesn't make it easier to, read. Certainly makes me need to concentrate a lot more, and concentrating a lot more probably won't help my dizziness. So, this stream probably won't go that much longer, just to save myself from fainting or whatever. Also, Jesus Christ, it's getting... I'm literally sweating right now. Oh, that's probably not good. Sweaty and dizzy. Hooray. And I still continue streaming because that's just how far I'm willing to go for you guys. Once again, I'm rudely pulled out of my warm, comfortable snooze by the invasive blaring of the alarm of my phone. Still half asleep, I fumble for the offering item and slam the alarm off, but the damage has already been done. My brain wastes no time in reminding me of what happened yesterday, both during lunch and during the club meeting. Wonderful. Starting the day in a bad mood is perhaps the worst way to start it. Good morning. I give a non-committal grunt in reply. Mom looks up from her coffee with a look of surprise on her face. I'm gonna say face instead of features. Good to see you as well, Code. I'm not a morning person, Mom, you know that. Unfortunately, not even Sawyer was really able to cheer me up yesterday after school. She really tried, but I just couldn't get Yuri out of my mind.
Mom is silent as she studies me. There's no way I'd be able to hide the fact that I'm in a bad mood, so I mentally prepare myself for a flurry of questions. You don't seem too chipper today. What's wrong, honey? Nothing. She sighs to herself. I can read you like a book, Code. Book! Ha! Literature club. It's Yuri, isn't it? What? How did... Just call it motherly intuition. What happened? Code, I can't help you unless you tell me. Or unless you let me. I'm really not in the mood to delve into it. Her tone is gentle as she speaks. I understand that you're upset, but please don't bottle things up. Communication is the most important aspect of any bottle things up again. Hooray. Yeah, well, I'm well aware of that. I have to get going anyway. I don't want to be late. I snatch a piece of toast and, ramming it into my mouth, I head out the kitchen, doing my best to avoid what I can only assume is a disappointed look on Mom's face. Morning lessons are feeling like such a drag. I'm finding it harder and harder to concentrate. My mind keeps focusing on questions that I'd rather not be asked. Such as, have I caused irreversible damage with Yuri? We're not over, are we? I wince as I go over the things I said to her on Friday evening. Calling her arms an ugly mess. Indirectly, you didn't call her call her arms an ugly mess directly, but you definitely did so indirectly. Which is not quite as bad as just calling her out directly, but still pretty bad. Almost as bad. But not quite on the same level. But seeing her scratch herself like that, it was crazy. Or scary. Of course, I'd be more liable to panicking and saying something stupid. But the look on Yuri's face serves as a chilling reminder that boundaries were definitely crossed that day. The lunch bell rings. At least spending time with the girls might take my mind off of it, if not for a little while. As I enter the club, I immediately notice that both Yuri and Monica aren't in. Well, Monica is fairly hit or miss given how busy her schedule is. But Yuri? The feeling that something is amiss starts to bubble up. Hey, Code. Hi, just us today? Yeah, looks like it, unless Monica shows up, which wouldn't surprise me. Neither of you have seen Yuri? Zoe exchanges a look with Natsuki. There's no denying the look of concern on both of their faces. No, we thought you might know. I shrug. Fat chance of that. You've seen how little she's been talking to me recently. I've been worried about her ever since I saw her in the bathroom yesterday. Natsuki rolls her eyes at me. Yeah, what's up with that? You never told us. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Anyway, guys, I think we should go and find her. What do you think? I know she said she wanted to be alone yesterday, but... Yeah, let's do it, come on. Hey, wait for me? I'll take the girl's bathroom. Hey, Natsuki, do you want to check her homeroom? Yeah, sure. I'll try the courtyard and the roof then. With our hastily made plans, we each set off for our separate destination. Despite my best efforts, I am not having any luck finding her, although this doesn't surprise me. To be honest, the only place I could imagine her being right now would be the girls' toilets. Trying to quell the disquiet in my stomach, I head for the roof. Just as I thought, empty. With a heavy heart, I head back downstairs. Any luck? Sari shakes her head dejectedly. She probably didn't come to school today overall. Yeah, that's what I figured. Maybe she just didn't come in today? Yeah, she didn't. One of her classmates told me. Code, couldn't you have just called her? You say that like she'd actually respond to me. Ha! Something real bad went down between you two, didn't it? I don't answer. Don't worry, guys. She's probably just feeling sick or something. Yuri isn't the kind to skip school. Sayori's right. Yuri isn't a truant by any means. Which either means she is ill or... The lunch bell rings, but it sounds like it's a million miles away. Dimly, I'm aware of Sayori and Natsuki talking. Anyway, I'll see you two at the club, okay? Natsuki mutters something that I don't catch. Yeah. But I've no intention of sticking around for the rest of the school day, let alone the literature club meeting. Taking a deep breath, I knock on the front door. Please open, please open, please open. We're just visiting her now. The seconds that pass by feel like hours. Nothing. Abandoning the diplomatic approach, I pound the door much harder. Each knock reflects the desperation I'm feeling. Nothing. Disappointment and worry flare up, both as strong as the other. I relentlessly pace on the spot, pondering my options. While breaking in is tempting, even I know that that's way too over the top. I check my phone, knowing full well I won't have any messages or calls from her. I sure love being proven correct. Or I don't love being proven correct. Whatever. I can't read anymore, really. It's only 13:18, so I can't go home yet. Mom would flip if she knew I was ditching school. I guess my best bet is to just sit tight for a couple of hours. Yeah, it's a pretty bad plan, but unfortunately it's all I have right now. And yet, a few hours later, still no luck. My stomach gurgles, and I can really feel the stiffness in my joints from having sat down for so long. And of course, nothing from Yuri. I gaze towards the door. Who knows what Yuri's doing within? Well, if he's even inside. I could call the police and ask for a welfare check. No, don't. Seems a little drastic though. Yes, don't do it. Plus, if she's fine and doesn't want to talk, I'm pretty sure police intervention will make things even worse. That is, if they can get any worse. With a surge of anger, I smash on the door one more time. Much like with me kicking the wall, it achieves nothing except white-hot pain in my fist. My stomach gurgles again, as a wave of bitter frustration rolls over me once more. I just wasted hours of my life for absolutely nothing. For a girlfriend who won't even speak to me. I shake my head. How did it come to this? Well, you know exactly how it came to this, but frankly, I feel like she might be, I don't know. Code? What? Mom gestures to the toast I'm half-heartedly trying to eat. You need to eat. You don't want to be late for school. I'm not hungry. She sighs quietly. I know you're upset, sweetheart, but you can't just stay like this forever. I'm sure whatever's going on between you and Yuri will get better. I really hope so, Mom. This is just the nature of teenage love. I'm afraid. Anyway, shouldn't you be going now? I rarely look up at the clock. She's right. Yeah, I'll see you later then. Bye, Code. Have a good day. In spite of myself, I find myself walking towards Yuri's house. I know I'll likely just get ignored again, but a part of me tells me that I have to at least try. School can wait. And here we are. The dark red door, that dark red barrier that Yuri hides behind. Yuri? Here I am, calling out to a door. Trying to shake off how ridiculous this must look, I press on. Look, I know things aren't right between us. I nearly snort after I realized what I just said. That must have been the understatement of the century. Yeah, you think? But please, just talk to me. I'm worried about you, you know? Especially after I found you in the girls' bathroom. Please? Yuri, I know you're there. Well, I know you're home at least. There's a good chance that you're in your bedroom and I'm talking to no one at all. My voice cracks a bit with emotion. Yuri, I'm begging you. Please hear me. Please be okay. I just want you to be happy. Yuri. Nothing. I sigh and close my eyes, slumping down against the door. I was an idiot for thinking this would have gone any differently. The question is, do I commit an entire day to waiting here, or do I cut my losses and The soft sound of a click and the door slowly crackling opening jolts me to my feet. Through the slightly ajar doorway, I can see a very unsure-looking Yuri. Progress! I mean, frankly, I never would have done that. I'm not that persistent, because I'm just a pure introvert. When someone avoids me, I just frankly assume it's completely my fault. And I try to avoid them in return, just because I avoid people because they avoid me, because I feel like they don't want to spend time with me. And I don't want to make them uncomfortable by approaching them unnecessarily. So yeah, I never would have come this far. For me, the relationship probably would have ended there because I wouldn't have been able to fix it. For a moment, there's silence between us. A silence that actually feels very, very awkward. Can I come in? Worriedly, she looks down, biting her lip. In my mind's eye, I can practically see her receding back into her shell again. That shell that I thought I'd helped crack for good. Or can we just talk here if you're not comfortable letting me in? Honestly, I'll take whatever I can get at this point. At my words, Yuri nods and slowly swings the door open. I can hardly dare to believe she's even talking to me again. On paper, it sounds ridiculous. Who would internally celebrate talking to their girlfriend again? But after everything that's happened, it just goes to show the severity of the situation. So, I nervously jamming my hands in my pockets, I struggle to get some words out of my mouth. Anything to break this awkward silence. But I don't even know where to start. There are so many things I feel like I should say. The weight of these arguments feels like it's weighing even heavier on my shoulders right now. She looks at me with an expression both expectant and sad. Neither of us know how to make the first move. How have you been? And of course I open with such a stupid question. I've been okay. More silence. I see. That's good. It's almost laughable. She can't really think that I believe she's been okay, right? Oh, and here it comes again, my damned sarcastic side. Quote, you're going to have to make sure you don't accidentally snap at Yuri. Lord knows when the next time I'll get to talk to her will be. Funny how my emotions fluctuate so violently nowadays, at least when it comes to Yuri. From guilt and sadness to anger and frustration. My mind's been scrambled since our fight. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what to say. There's just so much we have to talk about that I don't know how to start. Same here. Yeah. Come on, coach, just talk to her. I just wish we could go back to how we used to be. Yeah, I miss being with you and I'm so worried about you. Those happy times when we could just chit-chat and giggle over nothing. I'd give anything to go back to those times. Well, at least you still have Sayori to do all that with. Sayori? Why are you bringing her into this? She's totally irrelevant to what's been going on between us. Sorry, what I meant to say was, regardless of what happens, you'll always be able to turn to her. Yuri, I feel like you've already made up your mind about this. It seems as though you've resigned yourself to never changing and just breaking up. Please tell me I'm wrong. It's hard to talk about these matters. I know it's hard. You think I don't know that? But if we want to fix things, we have to talk. I know. If you know, then why have you been ignoring me for an entire week? Despite my best efforts to remain calm, I can feel my temper flaring up again. I just wanted to talk to you, to somehow solve our problems together. But how am I supposed to do that if you don't communicate with me? Our relationship can't be saved if it's just me working on it. How do you think it makes me feel? Look, I know that you have problems that are probably outside the realm of my comprehension. A hint of sarcasm begins to unwillingly creep into my words. But all this stuff is seriously affecting my own mental health too. My feelings aren't invalidated because you have more difficult problems to deal with, right? I never said... Yes, you might not have intended to, but sometimes I feel like implications like that weigh down on me. So come on, Yuri. If I can talk about these things that I've never told anyone else before, why can't you? Okay. I know that you're probably unsure of what to say first, so how about we start with the argument? Could you tell me your side of it? What did I say that upset you so much? I feel like I'm being too aggressive now, but I can't help it. It's as though I have to get answers out of her while I still can.
You wouldn't understand.
Have you not been listening to a thing I've said? How am I supposed to understand if you're not helping me to see your own perspective?
Code.
She looks down, fiddling with a strand of her hair.
I can't.
You what? You what?
I can't deal with all of this right now.
What are you talking about?
If you can't even understand this, how am I supposed to explain why the things you've said were hurtful?
And again, with the lack of communication.
Have you even hurt yourself?
Oh, great! And we're ruining it again.
Do you know how much you've been pushing me in this conversation?
Look, sorry if I'm being kind of blunt right now. But what else am I supposed to do? I've already tried giving you space and playing the good cop, so you can't blame me for trying to be more assertive this time. You've given her space. By following her into the bathroom, by hammering at her door, calling her immediately after your fight as well multiple times. Yeah, alright, sure you've given her space.
I wouldn't call it being assertive.
No? Then what would you call this, huh? You just forget about social constraints and politeness for a moment. Even if your honest feelings are gonna hurt me, I want to hear them.
If you believe politeness is the only thing stopping me from talking, then you must not know me as well as you thought.
Huh?
But that's besides the point.
Okay. But I'm serious when I say that you can lay it on me.
Code.
Just tell me what you're thinking already.
Can you stop attacking me for 1 second?
Attacking? I'm sorry if it feels like I'm attacking you, but it's the only thing that's seemed to have worked so far. What do you want me to do then? Not say anything?
I want you to do what you had been doing all along. That is, until our argument.
But I clearly didn't make too big of a difference acting that. I clearly didn't make too big of a difference acting that way. All this time I've been trying to gently nag at you, open up and go to therapy. And to actually do something to fix your problem. But look at where we are now.
So you finally show your true face.
What?
I should have known that no one could be that kind and patient towards me. All this time you've just been a fair weather friend, or should I say boyfriend.
What are you on about now?
You can't handle our relationship unless everything is happy. Back then, you'd let me believe that you'd support me no matter what. Even if you knew that I was getting bullied, even if you found out how much of a freak I am. Everything was just a lie, I guess. All you want to do is dump me at a therapist's office to cure me.
I agree. The main character is too pushy. It's one thing trying to help someone, but actively forcing them into doing something they don't want to do. That's a different story. And I know he wants to do the right thing, but it's just not something I consider to be particularly the right call. Again, maybe I'm just being stupid again, because I'm just an introvert and I shy away from these sorts of situations, but... well, that's that. That's totally not what I was trying to say at all. And are you going to just forget about everything I've done out of love for you? I've helped you do things like deliver books at school countless times. Not to mention all the times I helped you talk to cashiers and strangers, And don't forget all the phone calls I've made for you too. Every single time I've tried to support you and have your back, even during the times when you were wrong. I've stood beside you through thick and thin. I've had to think up dozens of pep talks on the spot. All that just to help you feel better about everything. Yuri looks down, unable to meet my eyes anymore. Some emotion, guilt maybe, or shame clouds the violet of her irises. And about all my talk of therapy. What else am I meant to do here? Do you really think self-harm is something I'm experienced with? I only found out about your scars by accident. You haven't told the other girls or even your parents, so... Code, do not talk about my parents. It's kind of scary how I can almost tangibly feel Yuri's mood spike from bleak distress to anger. Still, I can't seem to stop myself from pressing on. Why not? Don't forget I comforted you about that too. And you know what? If you didn't communicate with them, if they couldn't even help you, how am I supposed to do that? You know nothing about the relationship I had with them. Oh, crap. You know, you're crossing a line again. She clearly doesn't want you to talk about them. You're making her mad again. You're pushing her away again by doing this. I know you don't want to, but still. You know, you are right. I'm starting to believe that I don't know much about you either. I don't even know why our argument happened in the first place, or how this conversation turned into another argument. Scorn laces her voice as she snaps back at me. You know, some of my darkest secrets, yet you're still incessant in insisting you know nothing about me? Yeah, I am, because apparently nothing's changed since the very beginning. Our relationship is stagnant. All your problems are still running rampant, our communication is in shambles. We're supposed to be talking about all of this because it leads to solutions, or at least it's meant to do that. Take a self-harm. What would be your solution to that? If you say therapy, yeah, it is therapy. But surprise, surprise, you don't want to try it. Therapy isn't the magical fix that your naive, idealistic viewpoint leads you to think it is, Code. I'm trying to push you to change for the better, Yuri. This is why we're never going to fix our problems. In fact, that's probably why we've been having fights lately. Please don't tell me I've spent so much time on the Yuri route and trying to pick the right options. Please don't tell me I'm actually approaching a bad ending for some reason. Please don't tell me that's what's happening. I really don't want to approach a bad ending after all the time I've spent with her. I really don't. You barely talk about what's bothering you until it's way, way too late. You've adopted the worst way of dealing with your issues, and you just blatantly refuse to try a different method. How are you ever going to get better? You know, I think she sincerely regrets opening the door. And that probably won't happen again now. Do you even want to get better? I'm starting to think you don't. She's crying. I see that slight hint of tears. And they're gonna start rolling now, aren't they? You might not like it, but you're gonna have to do stuff you don't like if you want to change. You can't stay a coddled little girl forever. When are you going to grow up and realize this? And now you're calling her a child. Smooth, real smooth. You really know what girls want to hear. Well, I don't either. But you know how to properly insult a girl. Right? It's not just me, right? That seems insulting. Really. Oh, she's angrily crying even. There's a moment of silence. There's a moment of silence for a moment. Nice way to double down on it. And suddenly tears begin leaking out of Yuri's eyes. But despite the tears, there's a quiet fury in her voice. You're not going to be the one to fix me. She clenches her hands tightly into fists, digging her fingernails into the palms hard enough to turn her nails white. Relationships aren't a cure-all,
And it's about time you got that real fucking head.
Oh, she's cursing. For a moment I'm stunned into silence. I've never heard Yuri swear before. The magnitude of the intensity behind her words makes me realize just how serious the situation really is.
And if you think that you're even more stupid than I thought.
Without waiting for my reaction, she slams the door in my face with surprising force. However, not even the loud slam of the door breaks me out from my stupor. As I stand numbly on the doorstep and wait for my senses to slowly return, the hopelessness of the situation sinks in. Yeah, you ruined it. That was your one chance. You had a good start, somewhat good start, in trying to talk to her, and then you brought up all the bad stuff again, and started pushing her again, and insulted her. Directly this time, pretty much. You know, I'm really curious to see if this situation can still be saved. I stare at the door, not even trying to fight off the wave of despair coursing through me. How is it possible that things got even worse? How is it possible that once more I am once again separated from Yuri by a physical barrier? The smooth brown hue of the door taunts me. The more I miserably stare at it, the more it feels like some sort of impenetrable fortress. I can't even read anymore. The shock of being thrown out and hearing Yuri swear, which blunted the anger I've been feeling, is quickly ebbing away, leaving only resentment in its wake. Yeah, that's right, just close the door on me, because that'll really fix your problems, won't it? I bang furiously on the door once more, but this time there's complete silence, a silence that contrasts hugely against the whirlwind in my head. It's almost funny how someone so eloquent and expressive with a language is so god-awful at communicating, you know? You're making it even worse, you fucking idiot! Well, it'd be funny if it weren't so sad. With one last bang on the door, I turn my heel and leave. Despite a sadistic part of me enjoying the verbal fury I just threw at her, there's no denying the bitter aftertaste of my words. Well, there's no point staying here. With an annoyed sigh, I remember that I'm meant to be at school, which means home is a no-go for now. Guess I'll have to kill some time. I don't know why I chose this place particularly. My feet have been guiding me, and my brain just followed along as if it were on autopilot. This is the spot where Yuri went with me that one time, right? After spending some time with her. The only thing I'm focused on at the moment are the words, well, they feel more like bullets that were fired between us just now. I pick up a rock and throw it as hard as I can. It's cathartic in a sense. Putting all my energy into a physical action affords me a tiny bit of relief. All you want to do is dump me at some therapist's office to cure me. Is that really how she fucking sees things? Half a year of getting to know her, dating her, only to be told that that's how callous she thinks I am. I pick up another rock and throw it as hard as I can, but this time the sensation does a little to quiet my anger. I'm trying here, Yuri. I'm trying my fucking best. But you're not giving me anything to go off of. How am I meant to know when I'm doing well, or how to correct my wrongdoings if you straight up refuse to talk to me? How was I meant to know that you felt like you had to have sex? How am I meant to know anything at all? What even are we? This isn't how a boyfriend and girlfriend should act. It's sad. Right at the beginning of our relationship, I wondered about what we were. And now, when it looks like this the end of our relationship, here I am wondering the exact same thing again. Maybe things will just blow over. Couples argue all the time. They do, but I wince as I recall the quiet fury in her voice as she warned me not to talk about her parents. Deep down, I know I've overstepped some sort of boundary. Again. The question is, can I redeem myself? That question lingers over me throughout the day, even after I'm back at home. Well then. I guess this is where I'm gonna end the stream now, because as I've said, I've gotten kind of dizzy from reading, which is stupid, I know, but still. So we're gonna need to continue this next time and hope that we have some way to fix this. Because after all the time I've spent, I don't want this to be a bad ending. I really want this to succeed. I want to fix this relationship somehow. But I just don't, at this point, I don't really know what he can do. Other than, you know, at least keeping his distance for a while. Keeping distance, I think, is necessary right now. Because right now, no one's in their right mind to talk about stuff. Especially after, you know, the situation where they were supposed to talk stuff out escalated into yet another argument. It's not gonna end that simply. So, I'm really curious to see how this is gonna get resolved, because I honestly have no idea. There might even be a time when I need to make a decision that's gonna lead to a split ending. Either the bad one or the good one. Because I can't forget that some choices might still be coming up that might decide where the story goes. And that worries me. It does, it really does. But yeah, as I said, this is where I'm going to be ending the stream. I once again want to thank everyone for watching. I'm not going to do it today, but I'm going to need to start work on another poem for this stream. Normally I do it immediately after the stream, but honestly I don't feel up to it right now. Not like that's for you guys to worry, you're gonna see it at the same moment in time eventually anyway. But yeah, right now I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you next time then. Bye!